All right, guys, hold on a second. Right into it. I know, not usually. I'm going to put it on that starting soon, so just hang tight. What's going on, guys? What a whopping pain in the fucking ass the last 45 minutes to an hour has been. Okay? Yes, I do so. Hey, actually, Triceratops, you're there. How do I sound on Discord right now? I'm just curious.
At least from my end, you sound fine.
You can hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what was going on. There was some kind of communication problem between my Zoom PodTrack 8 and the computer.
Interesting.
You can't hear Troy. Yeah, he is pretty. I have him quiet. Every time he joins, he's like a different volume. Talk again?
I was tempted to shout the line from the beginning of the first Austin Powers where he talks about having trouble controlling the volume of his voice, but I decided maybe I shouldn't do that for a sound test.
All right, now talk again for me.
All right, I'm continuing to talk while you do things, I suppose.
Awesome, thanks, dude.
Yep.
All right, cool. God, what a pain in... Dude. All right, so the fucking Zoom PodTrack 8 audio mixer. Also, hi Glitch, hi Lagged Out. How's it going? The Zoom PodTrack audio mixer is... I don't remember how much it was. I bought it a year ago when I started streaming. I want to say its music is a little loud versus him. Yeah, what is... Stupid fucking shit. All right, I just turned the music down. You want to say something again for me, homie?
Yo, dude, what up?
There we go. Okay. Anyhow, I bought this damn thing a year ago, and I think it was like $700. It was either like 6 or 7, maybe it wasn't. I don't think it was 8. And all of a sudden, there was just some weird shit going on when I turned it on. First, ready to get ready for stream like an hour ago, and then all of a sudden, fucking, like my voice, I kick on the Zoom and my voice is like blowing out, like just in the red. Even if I would whispered, even if there was just a whisper, it was fucking blowing it out. I'm like, what the fuck? And so like I go and make some adjustments, and all of a sudden, then it's silent. I'm looking at the mixer. The mixer says it's good. I look up at OBS. OBS is quiet as fuck. I have it turned it all the way up, and I'm barely hitting like a quarter on the, like, I'm not even hitting like -40 or -50 on the decibels with everything all the way up. So I literally just went down the rabbit hole. And actually, technically, I'm still having the problem. I didn't fix it. What I did was go into, and this is where it's confusing to me, is I went into OBS and I added a gain to my mic on my channel, on OBS. So that increased the volume. But what's weird is you should be having problems hearing me right now. And that's what's weird. That's why I asked how well it was you were hearing me, because stream should be hearing just fine. Not to mention, there's all these crazy fucking delays going on. Like, why all of a sudden, it happened like a month or two ago, and I had to fix it, and I fixed it, and then I was doing some testing recording, and my audio's off. And it should be good right now. I got it mixed, but I had to fucking set the audio back. And it's just garbage, man. It's stupid. I had to, what's it called? Like sync the audio or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I delayed it or increase. I got it to work, but I had to delay it or increase it by, like, no joke, like 200 milliseconds. I think 1,000 milliseconds is a full second, I want to say. I think there's 1,000. Yeah.
Milli would mean thousand, so yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird that milli means 1,000 though?
Well, it's only weird if you're an English speaker. We're right. Like the one language in that group of language. I guess German also says 1,000. But yeah, right. A lot of the European languages, the mille part of it, that means 1,000. We're just weird by being like million. So that's like
yeah, okay. Yeah, anyhow. Glitch, how are you doing? Lagged Out, how are you doing? You sent me some long messages I'm going to have to read through, Lagged Out. I did not get a chance because I started battling with the audio stuff as soon as you were DMing me. So I'm just going to take a break. I literally was like busting my ass trying to figure out the audio shit before 4:30. So I'm like a little out of breath. And I think if anyone, it's just me being excited. Gotcha. I think if anyone overheard me like shouting test into the microphone, like, they probably got scared.
I don't know why that was so funny to me.
I don't know, like, yeah, just someone walked by, like, into the office area, and it's like, test, you fucker, test. Like, I was getting enraged. I was enraged. So, oh my God. What are you working on? Or what are you doing? You just gaming?
No, I'm not even gaming. I didn't really want to get into something where I'd be, like, involved with whatever, just because, I like to immerse myself in games, and with how my stomach is, it's just going to take me out of it. So, as one might assume, since I'm not gaming,
audio just... There it is! Hold on a second.
Work.
That's what I was fucking talking about, guys. That's what I was fucking talking about. Yeah, I didn't touch shit. Did my volume just get louder for you, Triceratops?
It does seem like it just got slightly louder, yeah.
But I just turned it back down. Now it's not, well, I did turn it back down. Isn't that weird as shit? What the literal fuck is going on? What's funny though is lagged out, dude. If you read the fucking, the pod track, it literally is level. Everything's working the way it's supposed to. So this is nerd shit, guys, okay? But the audio going into the pod track has not changed, okay? Hasn't changed at all. You're going to assume I unplugged the XL. I didn't, dude. I didn't touch shit. I don't know what happened. And even like Triceratops just said, he heard me a little bit. It was a little bit louder after that thing happened. So, yeah.
Indeed it were.
And indeed it was very loud.
It was the most loud.
No, like, did you unplug it? Dude, I plugged it. I tested another microphone. I tested another XLR cord. I tested the PodTrack 8 on my Mac in OBS and was having the same problem. I think it's something internal in the PodTrack 8 as the USB output. It may not even be the USB output because I was kind of having the same problem when I used an analog output into the mic input of the computer. So there's something about the output in general that's being wonky as shit. Yeah, but then the USB wouldn't be the only problem. Like when I did the mic output, which is like analog, good old, 8.5 millimeter stereo jack or headphone jack into the mic input on my PC, it had the same issue. I'm 90% sure it's the PodTrack 8. I just don't know what to do with that information now that I have it. Like, as long as the audio is on track too, that's really what I care about most. So, but it might jump back down. If you guys hear me and hear my audio just go like all the way really quiet again, let me know. That includes you, Triceratops, if you're still around.
I am.
Okay. Yeah, it could be the connector. I don't fucking know. I'm over this shit. I'm over all of it. I'm fucking over. Oh, Jesus, now I'm breaking shit. Okay, so something I was supposed to be doing before I went live was getting TikTok ready to go live as well. So now you guys are just going to have to hang out with me. But maybe we can come together to come up with a really cool... You breaking shit again? You know it. What up? Have you changed your name again? Have you changed your name on Twitch again? You have. River Willow. What does that say? Tree? River Willow Tree? Sticks, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Oh, have you been here? Okay. Well, so I don't get to call you Sticks anymore. Hello, Willow Sticks. I would be okay with that. Willow Sticks. Have you been here as River Willow Tree? What are you doing? The names are crazy. Listen, sticks comes from trees. Ooh, good point. They do. Well, they could also come from bushes.
Well, it depends on the sticks.
That's true. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I need a good TikTok stream title in 32 characters or less about the Armsie. I'm probably not going to listen to your guys' ideas, but if you have any, I'll take them. I will take them. This was a pain in the ass. This had 32 characters or less. I don't think they'll let me put that. TikTok is like, Glitch the Space Witch followed me 10 minutes ago. What? Glitch, did you change your name too? Or were you not following me? I'm so fucking confused. Like, you've been in chat. Like, did you just now follow me? She walked away from the fucking computer anyway, but...
Wait, are you talking to Glitch?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, word. Yeah, that's kind of weird that, ye old whiff was all like, fuck your followers and shit. I ain't doing that. Although knowing her, that probably wasn't the thought process.
Did I kick you off my Twitch? No, I didn't kick you off. Can I even do... I'd have to ban you. Can I... If you were banned, you wouldn't be able to just, like, follow again, I don't think, though, either. I've never been banned, so I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what happened. And what's weird is you're literally still showing up with the sword, which means you're still a mod. I just don't think you followed me from the beginning. I think you were just here hanging out and not even following the whole time. Yeet, right? So, okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. But anyhow, it has been a crazy fucking week, guys. I tell you, I'm over it, man. I know Triceratops is over it, too.
I am the first one who was over it.
I was over first.
I was over this week on Saturday of last week. Beat that. Actually, speaking of why I'm already over this week, I kind of have this fear of taking, you know, an accelerant to keep things more vague, without medical advice. So I thought to myself, I know something that tends to do exactly what an accelerant would do. Oh, man. Who? And that is, alcohol.
Oh, are you drinking?
Yeah, I went and bought a couple of tall boys. I'm hoping that maybe the alcohol will spur something down below.
Yeah, the mod actions don't show anything. Twitch. No, I don't think it's Twitch. I think it's Glitch being all like, I'm not following him. That's what I think. It is. Pretty sure. I'm confident in that decision. By the way, River, Sticks, Willow. One of our dolls is named Willow. That's the only thing that weirds me out about that. And I've never met a real Willow. Like, you know what I mean? Have you ever met a Willow? Triceratops?
I want to say yes. Why do I want to say yes, though? Okay, maybe I haven't, but I maybe worked with somebody who had like a girlfriend or a wife or something named Willow. I know of a real life one, but I don't think I actually met her myself.
It's not a sub though. You just followed. No, I mean don't go away. I'm just saying it's weird because it's not even the sub, it's just the following. Can you sub to someone without following them? It doesn't automatically. I am subbed. I don't have to be. Well, it's just weird that it would allow you to sub but not follow. Like I would assume it would automatically do that, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's like you want to give someone your money, but you don't ever want to know if they're on again. You know, like. I was following. This is my point. Gotcha. Yeah, well, the tech, the data doesn't support your claim. It's kind of... I have 3 screens of Mike's face. Don't do that, bro. It's probably very scary. Anyhow, you said you got a bunch of tall boys. What did you, what brand?
I got a couple, Bud Light Seltzer Retro Tie-Dye Cherry Limeades.
That actually sounds kind of good.
If you're into cherry limeade stuff, you'd probably enjoy them, yeah.
I'm just saying, it sounds like refreshing.
It is.
Hello, my friend. Your voice is pretty low in volume. Are you fucking with me right now? Harding? Are you fucking with me? Oh, never mind. Okay. It's because my head was away, man. It's my head. What up, Harding? How's it going? Sorry, we had a huge audio problem earlier, so you were freaking me out, man. You were freaking me out. That's it. Yeah, I was talking to the wall over here. It actually had some interesting things that it was saying, and I was like, I'm going to go talk to the wall real quick. I was just talking about you, Harding, the other day. It was all good things, I swear.
Dude, remember when Harding owned a store in our hometown?
Right. Big revision of my document. Dude, I didn't even get through the... I was like, I'm going to read this document. And I was like, oh, fuck. It's huge. I skimmed a lot of it. I read a good portion thinking, I'm like, oh, it's going to come to an end shortly. I don't want to exaggerate, but I want to say the damn thing was like... the damn thing, it's like 40 pages long, no? Kick has the smallest delay. That's because no one's on Kick. That's why Kick has the smallest delay. Pretty sure. My beard's out of whack too. My beard goes crazy when I go crazy, guys. That's what happens. It just fluffs out. It's like, oh, are you having an insane day? Did you change the whole direction of your game, lagged out? Or not lagged out, Harding? Oops. I've also decided I think I may want to go in the business of designing camera rigs because I'm pretty sure no other fucking company in the world can design a sturdy, reliable camera rig. Not anymore. Got a few friend from the industry to read it, and the main
Hey, buddy, you want to go outside?
Was cut it, get to the point. Oh, damn, really? Small rig? Is that a brand name? I actually think I know what small rig is. Is small rig the one that you put around the camera? I have a small rig on one of my cameras. You talking about the cage? I'm not talking about the cage. Yeah, small rig is a company. I believe they make the cages, right? I want to make like super strong, fucking goddamn titanium strength camera rigs with fucking robotic arms or some shit. They make cages and others. I've never looked to the company for anything other than the cages. The cages are nice. I do like it. It allows you to put a 1/4-20 screw in 800 different positions on your camera. Like a tripod, desktop rig, or cinema rig. Yeah, like that, but cheap, okay? It ain't gonna be all flashy, ain't gonna be pretty, but it's gonna be like military grade industrial, okay? And it's gonna have fucking awesome giant handles for tightening ball bearings, and it's gonna be rated for like 100 pounds or something like that. If I wanna put, like, clamp someone's ankle and turn them upside down and position them 3 feet at a particular angle off my table, I want it to hold them. Nah, if it's that strong, you charge more. Maybe, I guess. I'm just so tired of chintzy shit, okay? I'm really tired of fucking chintzy ass shit. The Zoom PodTrack 8, which was like, again, I think it was, we'll just call it $700, has worked really well for a variety of things, but you pick it up and you feel like you're gonna break the fucking thing. I'm over it. I am so over shit being made of like, well, we made it out of this like aluminum that's, you know, really light, and it makes you, like, we made it way bigger than it needs to be. If you were to crack this open, you'll actually see the microchips are only 2 centimeters large. We wanted you to feel like it was more important than it is. That sounds like it would feel good on your back, yeah. I'm very picky on stuff for my camera. Yeah, the problem is that we have moved to a fucking all internet-based purchasing, so you have no fucking idea the actual quality of anything. I mean, am I right or am I right? It's like, oh, it looks so cool, and like that looks like it's metal. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's fucking plastic. Oh, anyhow, it really pisses me off. By the way, is there something going on with aliens or something right now? I feel like everyone's talking about fucking aliens.
There might be a xenomorph in my torso.
No, beyond that, is there something in the news? Is someone lying about aliens and shit or something right now?
Oh, like just like extraterrestrials in general, not the franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking aliens. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like everywhere I looked today, there was like someone talking about aliens. And I came to the realization, I talked to Kyle about this earlier. Assuming it's not an Independence Day scenario where they're literally like destroying every major city, I'm fairly certain that if tomorrow I was notified that aliens existed, like for sure. We have evidence, everything. Like me and everyone else on the planet was notified. My life, day to day, would not change one iota.
Well, I mean, the government pretty much already told us that like a while back, like last year or something. So it's just nobody was paying attention because of all the other things going on.
Yeah, I looked up that stuff recently, and did you listen? I was overhearing. I wasn't listening. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I just was kind of listening.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the Pentagon came out with more alien evidence in 20. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a few news about Elon Musk talking about them. Oh, okay, maybe that's it. I don't know. I just am. I'm fucking over it, man. I don't care. I don't care about aliens at all. I've decided. Don't give a shit. Don't care. There's a small part of me that thinks that maybe. I don't know. You come from a super religious background. Kyle's convinced that if the biggest benefit I saw from like aliens being proven that they existed was that I would hope that it would like crumble religion. But he's like, they're just gonna call them angels, like, you know, or
well,
something
no. He's almost right. They already call them demons, because since aliens aren't in the Bible, the like hyper zealous religious people have to go, well, then it's from Satan because it's not from God. Trust me, I have listened to it for half of my life.
So really, aliens don't do shit? It won't do
no,
shit?
No, because we started talking about them too early before actually finding them. And so that gave all the fucking apologists way too much time to come up with whatever wacky bullshit they wanted to make their stupid books still be true.
Damn it.
Dude,
that was my one thing. Like, that I was hoping.
There's never gonna be a thing unless people, well, there's a thing. The thing would be all of those people being intellectually honest.
See you later, Harding. Peace out, dude. Sorry.
But I said the only thing that's ever going to stop all that nonsense is just those people being intellectually honest. But we also know that will literally never happen. So, I mean, we've had religions for pretty much the majority of human society and stuff. Although, interesting thing, I did find out that there is a culture that's not been, like, it doesn't interact with modern society, so to speak. And they don't have a religion or gods, which is interesting because even in like anthropology courses, they'll talk about how like the development of religion is a natural part of human evolution. But this one group of people, I forget what they're called, disproves that, because when people, you know, from modern society or whatever are like, hey, what do you believe in, gods and stuff? And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Religion,
you know?
I mean, religion's a pretty wide net, right?
I mean,
if you really want to,
it's a wide net when it comes to the potential beliefs that religions may hold, but in general, no, they're basically all the same thing. The big difference is whether there's one god or multiple, and it's pretty much multiple in all of them except for the Abrahamic faiths. Unless you're considering Buddhism a religion, which, depending, I guess, on how
that's what I'm going to say. That's what I was going to say.
It can be, but other times it could also just be a philosophical way to live, you know.
So religion requires a belief in a god. It can't even be many gods, or can it?
I don't know if it. I don't know if you're required to have a deity in a religion, to be honest with you.
Right. I'll have to look up the definition
I guess
sometime.
I just looked up the definition. According to Oxford Languages, a religion is the belief in and worship of a superhero or a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods. But also it can be defined as just a particular system of faith and worship, or a pursuit or interest to which someone ascribes supreme importance.
Okay, so philosophies could, depending on the circumstances, be considered religions.
They could be, depending on how someone takes it.
Well, I'm just saying, think about like a lot of people don't think about this, but like Druidism, Wicca, all those things technically are religions. Then, if you go by
they are religions. It's just that the Abrahamic faiths, typically, you know, the people practicing them, which we grew up in the West, so we were surrounded by Christianity. Even if we're directly involved in it or not, it's here. And so part of that is that every religion that's not the primary religion in a country that practices an Abrahamic faith as its primary religion, and presumably the same in other religions as well, all of the other religions are cults because they're not the right one that we believe in. Quote,
from
unquote,
the perspective of
yeah,
Abrahamic based.
I mean, I know Christians who even consider Judaism and Islam to be cults, and it's like, bro, one of them is the book that you wrote the sequel to, and the other one is just a rewrite of that same sequel, bro. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
But then there's also, like, to give an actual concrete example of a religion that does not have gods, like in the Abrahamic faiths, Taoism. I think Taoism is Chinese, I want to say.
I'm pretty sure Taoism is more regularly considered a philosophy, though.
Right, but well, maybe by people that you've talked to or whatever, but it's actually defined or classified as a religion.
Really?
Yeah, and there are technically like Taoist deities, but as far as I know, they're like just like people from the past that are highly honored. I don't know that there's any actual like supernatural like magical. They created themselves or some other equally mysterious sort of bullshit. I don't know if that's part of Taoism.
Okay.
But like officially, it doesn't have gods like the Abrahamic faith.
Yeah, that was the only thing. Oh wow, yeah. Thank you for the follow over there on Kick. I'm kind of like half looking around at different things right now. I appreciate it. But what were we talking about? That? Oh. So okay. So technically, aliens could fuck up some religions. Just not the one.
Well, okay. So some religions may. I haven't been around the other religions as much as I have the Abrahamic faiths, and so I couldn't really speak to how people that practice any of those religions might perceive, evidence, like undeniable evidence that we're not alone in the universe.
Wait, Glitch says, isn't a deity by definition a god or goddess?
Well, yeah. It's just the term that is the blanket term for all of these magical people, regardless of what their
deity is, right? So it applies to all of them, right?
Yeah, it's just a god and a goddess would count as a deity. So,
aliens made us. Hey, maybe, but even that wouldn't change anything. Like, I guess I was just thinking, I was like, it's such a bummer. I mean, I know that my whimsy left me a long fucking time ago in a lot of different ways, but it's a bummer to me that I wouldn't give two fucks if aliens existed. Like, it saddens me that a revelation like that, and even though we used the word, or I just used the word revelation as far as like, finding out that aliens existed, I would hope that it would have a greater impact, but I just realized with everything that's going on and the way the world is right now and my personal life, it's like literally, how does that affect my day-to-day? Tomorrow aliens exist. Triceratops, how does it change anything for you?
More people talk about it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Right, that's probably it, right?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like, even back when I was still, indoctrinated, for lack of actually, that's probably the best term. But even back then, I was like, nah, aliens are probably real. I just gotta reconcile this with my stupid faith. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. Well, we're gonna drop the faith then.
Unless they're gonna come hang out. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, it's just a bummer. All right, guys, here we go. Say hello to the Armsie. I put fucking legs on it, okay?
So, it's a Virginia?
No. I want to see some shit answer some questions. Yeah, I guess, if you get the chance to talk to him. So, sorry about the long, dude. What did we spend the last 30 minutes calming down, basically, and getting riled up? I did both. I calmed down from the audio problems and got riled up about aliens and other things. So, this bad boy right here, he waves. He doesn't wave. He doesn't have any arms yet. He's got to weigh the better part of 30 pounds. He is heavy AF. Okay, very, very heavy. So let's get I wonder if I go to the other camera mic. It's a little bit better here. So, did you guys can see. He's big. He's a big boy. But it took a lot of time getting these legs on. And I had to use screws like drywall screws and a literal fuck ton of two-part epoxy to get these on. And there was some shrink-related issues. If you guys remember, we did we molded all the other parts in plastic and then fixed them up and molded them again. We did that. We did not do that for the legs though. We did that for the torso and all the limbs, but we didn't do it for the legs. So the legs ended up being like a different kind of, they had a different shrink ratio, so they don't key up to the body as nicely as I would have hoped. But I had started messing around with something called, and for anyone out there doing models or who get into like doing magic, is it magic? No. What do you think? Is it Warhammer that has the little dudes? That's probably the biggest thing for the like little
figurines
dudes.
Or whatever.
Yeah, little figurines. Is it Warhammer?
I mean, it'd be like Warhammer. D&D does it to some extent. I think it's more of an integral part of Warhammer, though.
Right.
Yeah.
They probably already know about this. So, but this stuff right here, guys, get you some of this shit. All right, epoxy sculpt. You can also get milliput. I'm going to say it that way because I watched a guy giving some tips about milliput, and I don't know what
sorry,
he
was this like an Indian dude or like Indian subcontinent
Oddly
dude,
enough,
or did he just say that word very specifically?
No, it was he was actually like Norwegian. But that's
okay, yeah. Pronounced like that too,
yeah. So it's milliput, and it's very similar though. It's an epoxy. This stuff is like a green when you mix it. The milliput is like a gray. But he had some good tips. I'm giving him a hard time, but I really just liked the way he said milliput. So we're gonna keep doing it that way. Anyways, fun stuff. Fun
like
thing about
one
this.
letter off from. Oh no, I'm thinking of Lilyhammer, that show you had me watch back in the day.
Yeah, milliput is, or I thought it was milliput, but it's literally, I think it might even be like a Northern European company that makes the stuff.
Okay.
But it's basically like a two-part epoxy putty. Fascinating thing about this stuff here, I haven't tried the milliput yet, but it is. It's a 12-hour cure time. So you have a ton of time to work with it. It does start to gel or harden quickly, but it has like but it literally cures rock hard on your seams and anything you have to fill it with. So I think that's what we're going to start with today, is messing around with some of this stuff and filling in some of these gaps around his legs. I do officially also, just to make it clear, we have all of his limbs done, guys. We have them all done. We just have to put them on. Allow me to illustrate, okay? Look, we can just be like, blip, there. Once that's glued on, and maybe we use some milliput, or we use some epoxy putty, we there. There's an arm. Very cool sculptures. I used to be a Disney animator back in the day, and I would really enjoy. Yeah, I love sculptures of any kind. 3-dimensional, physical, whatever. Let's do it. Let's bring on the sculptures, okay? Wait, watching a sculptors make maquettes. I was like, man, how much does a life-size mold of James Dean cost? Very expensive. I think you came into my chat and we're talking about James Dean last time too. It's gonna be like, I don't want to do it. It's gonna be like $1 bajillion because I don't want to do it. Everything gets wildly more expensive when I don't want to do things. This is my fun thing, okay? If I end up having to do unfun things, you pay a premium, okay? That's how it works. Like, I would sculpt a Jesus for a cross, but it would be very expensive. But they also have the money, so I don't like it, and they're evil, so I don't feel bad. Really awesome skin texture you have on there. Thank you. What would it take to get you to do it? A lot of money. If you're talking about the whole body, it would probably be like $100,000. If it was just the head, $25,000. like, like, yeah, a lot of money. There are people, FYI, I'm pretty sure, if you don't care what it's made out of, if you just want it to be like a wax head or something like that, or a ceramic, they probably do it for $500 to $1,000. I think that might even be high depending on where you go. So you can definitely find people to do it for cheaper. No joke. You're good at sculpting. Thank you. I'm okay at it, but I appreciate it. Okay, so I want to get a 3D printer now. One with one of the dip ones. They're pretty cool, yeah. I want to get a 3D print. I want to get one of the metal 3D printers, yo. But not for sculptures. I just want to be like, oh, I'm going to start building my awesome badass camera rigs. Allow me to 3D print my camera rigs. You know what I mean? Is there a periodic static sound, or am I crazy? Oh, now you're freaking me out. It might be, if you're hearing it, it could be coming from Triceratops.
Static?
No, you sound good too. It's the aliens fucking with your brainwaves. All right, honestly, there probably is, because of the gain. So hold on a second. Let me try something. I have the gain turned up because my stupid thing, right? I could probably turn the gain down though now. Let's try this. Yeah, we're just gonna. Can I just delete this? I'd really like to just delete it. Remove. Yes.
Oh yeah, could be.
No, it's quiet now. Yeah, hold on. There. Yeah, you should be able to hear me fine right now, right? I understand that now, but it is still good. I wouldn't have put the gain on if I didn't need to, so I'm happy I still turned it off because apparently the volume came back. So yeah, we're good. We good. And I just want to make it clear that it's other things making my, it's the technology going bad. It's not my inability to use it. Bad technology. All right, guys, here we go. We know you're old. It's okay. Whatever. You're on your way. You're on your way to old. You may not be there yet, but trust me, blink and it'll happen. It'll be done. There's a guy I work with who's worked for me for like almost 10 years. And he was just a wee lad when he started. And now he's fucking older. He'll be there faster. Did I just say he's fucking older? I meant he's fucking way older, and he is now getting made fun of by younger people for being old. You know who I'm talking about, right, Sam?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Talking about Paladin or whatever he might call himself these days.
Yes, your sister wife. He was like, was he 19 or 20? Might have been 20 or 21 when he started. And he is quickly approaching 30. And he's like, every little weird thing that happens, he's like, oh my God, my arm, it hurts. I'm going to the doctor. I think I'm dying. And I'm like, well, okay, yeah. He goes to the doctor for everything. I don't go to the doctor for anything, so maybe I'm not a good judge of what you should or shouldn't. But either way, he's not doing it well. Yeah. He was a teenager when I met him first, I think. Was he? Was he 19? He's an old man now. I think he's going to start losing his hair soon. Pretty sure.
Maybe
I did get yelled at for vaping today, though. Don't. Well, why'd you do that? Transformer, what up, duder?
Oh, that alcohol trick worked. I'll be back.
Okay. You got yelled at because you vape. Well, that sucks. Who yelled at you? Was it Brush? Did you tick him off? Super dehydrated, just didn't want to go. It was not Brush. Okay, gotcha. They charge $1,000 for IV saline. They charge $1,000 for salt water. $900 for me. Yeah, that's crazy. Free. Yeah, you just had to wait 18 years to get in. I need something to mix this in. One thing I didn't think about. I was 20 weeks pregnant before I got to see an OBGYN. Oh, really? Epoxy skull. You want to get roughly like the same size. I forgot how strong Vapor Rub was, Vicks, like how strong that stuff was. Until I was sick recently, I tried it and I was like, damn, this is potent. This is potent AF. And I think I'm getting, oh no. I love Vapor Rub. I'll probably use some tonight. I forgot we had any. Yeah. Yeah. What is the main thing? It's a plant, right? Eucalyptus? No. What is the main Vapor Rub thing? Chug my medicine, try to kill it. I rarely get sick, but if I do, well, damn. I woke up at 6 a.m. for the next. What do you mean? Eucalyptus. What did I say? It wasn't eucalyptus. Oh, I work at 6 a.m. for the next 2 days. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Sounds like I like that kind of thing. I like waking up early. Okay, so there we go. So remember, this stuff does take a while to cure. So we do have it for a while. Let's see if I can move this a little bit differently. I like work early because it means being done sooner. That's a good way to, yeah. Yeah, then you have the day at the end. Yeah, you have a bunch of time at the end. That's what's up. Okay, and sculpting tools. Yeah, Triceratops actually been sick for like 3 days too. Bunch of people being sick right now. But for your sake, lagged out. I really do hope you don't have the. I hope you don't have the pneumonia, the pneumonia. I don't know how to like. How would you say pneumonia phonetically? It's kind of tricky.
Say what?
Pneumonia. How would you say it phonetically?
Which language's phonetics are we using?
My language.
It's called English.
But I felt like you were going to be a smart ass and be like, yes, well, English. There's many different dialects and blah, 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 blah.
You were partially correct, because I am going to be a smart ass and just point out that English isn't a phonetic language, and so that's literally up to the mind of the English speaker how it would be pronounced.
That's why I'm asking you.
Right, but my answer is still going to be subjective either way. In my mind, maybe the most common way to pronounce an E is E and not E, but for someone else it's the other way around. I mean, if I was going to pick a language to say it phonetically, I'd probably go with German, just because then I can actually know I'm being phonetic about it, and I would say
all right, give it a
pneumonia.
Interesting. Okay.
Might even actually be the German word, but they have an E at the end instead of an A. I don't know, but yeah.
Phonetically means how you say it, not how you spell it. Wait a minute. I thought...
Yeah, and I was just talking about pronunciation, so good contribution.
No, that's Glitch talking to me, I think.
Oh, I thought it was that person who was pissy about me reading a definition of a word 3 weeks ago.
No, it's rad. Thank you. I think it's pretty rad, yeah.
Also, hey, Glitch.
No, I mean, isn't it when I say... what is the word I'm looking for, though? If you have a word... and you're like, hey, say this, how would you pronounce this phonetically? Is that not what you say? Is that not the idea I'm trying to get across?
Phonetics refers to both pronunciation and spelling in different ways. I mean, if you were going to say, how would you pronounce that phonetically, that works just as fine as anything else.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not really
you
sure.
can spell things phonetically. That's true.
Yeah,
okay.
well, yeah, just not in this language. Except for words like cat.
It's just weird to me that you can't go in reverse.
Tack? You can say
no.
tack.
Well, that you couldn't make the same kind of request in reverse generally.
Can you...
Like kniff.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a historical, linguistic whole thing, because, like, for instance, the KN words are pretty common, at least in German, maybe the other Germanic languages, I don't know. But in German though, you do pronounce it. So like the word for a bar, like a bar you would go get drinks at bar. They do use the English word sometimes, but the German word, or one of the German words, is spelled Kneipe, and it's pronounced Kneipe. So if we still pronounced K's, we would say Kneif. It's the same thing with like the words night and night. The one with the K on it comes from the German word Knecht, which is Knecht. The CH translated over to the GH. We don't pronounce the GH either, so now literally half of that word is silent letters. But there's a history to it.
Yo, what's up, Soulborn? How's it going? Or Soulsborn?
I know what kind of video game Soulsborn likes to play.
I'm not gonna say I knew that, but to the real just point of my question is like, I can't, other than literally this conversation, I can't come up with a reason of why anyone would ever request to someone else to pronounce a word the way it's spelled versus the way it is pronounced. Like knife, right? But in the event that one wanted to make that request, you would say pronounce it phonetically? That's my question. What word would you say to get?
I would probably just say phonetically. I'm sure there's probably some other word out there to basically mean phonetically, but I would just say phonetically. I mean, the phone part of it literally means sound. So if there's another more appropriate word, I don't know what it is. I mean, like the word telephone basically means like far sound, you know. But I mean, if you like directly translated it, it could be something like that. Yeah, like tele means like far or from a distance. Let's see what the prefix's meaning is according to Oxford. So tele.
The answer to your question is no. To be clear, I don't think it is no. I think you could use phonetically. I think phonetically would work in that, like, if there is, just because there is no other word that means just that, maybe it's because phonetically could work for that.
Well, phonetic by definition means related to speech sounds. So it actually makes more sense to use the term phonetically when talking about speech than it even does with spelling. But even then, you can have phonetic orthography, which is then spelling that is based on the phonetics of the words in your language, you know? Like, English absolutely doesn't do this, but for instance, with some exceptions, you know, Spanish and German, the two other languages I studied, both of them are, for the most part, phonetic languages. Like, you hear a word once, if you know what the sounds in that alphabet makes, you can probably figure out how to spell it within a couple of guesses, you know, and then find out what that word is, you know, but yeah.
But both those words, well, no, I guess read and read, yeah, that's true. And then
that's an example of English not doing things phonetically.
Like
technically, when it comes to a quote unquote phonetic language, generally when people say that, they're referring to a language that spells things based on what they claim letters of the alphabet make for sounds. But English is really good at never doing that almost. And then also just our vowels are fucked because like the majority of our vowels aren't even technically vowels just by themselves. At least the long forms of them, you know, like a and a, which I guess is what we would consider the short form in elementary school. But a, I, o, even because of how we pronounce it. Those are all, they're not, the way that we pronounce them in English, at least their long forms or whatever, aren't actually vowels. They're what's referred to as a diphthong.
Hold on one second, Triceratops. Glitch, I don't know. I disagree. If you ask someone, so she says, but yeah, if you ask someone to say a word phonetically, you're asking them to pronounce it correctly. I don't think that is what you're saying.
Well, it would maybe depend on the context of the conversation in which you ask.
And then she says or not, and then she says or not. So it's both?
Like 97% sure half of the things Glitch says are just to get a reaction, only to then say 3 words after that to make you feel like an idiot for having that reaction. I've been to your house. That seems pretty accurate to me, but whatever, that's okay. She, at least when it comes to me, certainly knows her audience, because she's real good at getting me with that shit. But half the time I say words in your home, I'm like, ah, fuck, I shouldn't have said words.
It's like, what up, Ryan? What's going on, dude? Is that another Ryan? It's a different Ryan. Are you something leather on TikTok, legged out? Words, man. They get us in so much trouble.
Yeah. Usually less trouble than physical actions, though. So.
Don't you think, though, it's the words that led to the physical action?
Generally speaking, yeah. I mean, nothing happens in the human world, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't start with words, whether they're spoken or thought. But I mean,
yeah. No, I knew that's who you were, Ryan. I just have other Ryans. That's not me. I know it's not, but you are okay. You're the leather. Gotcha. But I'll allow another Ryan that loves leather. I don't know. Ryan on TikTok, do you also love leather? Okay, there. I just don't know how well the epoxy sculpt the epoxy sculpt was going to stick to 5-minute epoxy. You would think it would, but you just need a fucking tip.
5-minute epoxy. Alright, game.
One of my formidable days during my goth era in the late 90s, early 2000s, pleather was in, boys. I just nearly choked on a Cheeto. Don't choke on a Cheeto, dude. Also, what is it with people from Kansas really liking Cheetos?
Dude, I don't know, but Kyle told me something about how nobody in his home eats Cheetos. And he literally uses the phrase or the word blasphemy to describe that. And I was like,
I don't know the last time I've had a Cheeto. Like, I'm serious. I'm not a Cheeto guy, not into Cheetos. So.
Yeah, dude. Those shits are technically horrible.
But could you just imagine eating them on the beach?
Nope. Literally can't. I've heard it's a thing that someone does, but I don't believe him. Like, who the fuck is like, I'm gonna go outside on the beach where I'm gonna do some kind of physical activity, probably because water's here, and then they're like, I'm gonna fill my gullet with fucking Cheetos, dude. Like, I'm sorry, but that's inappropriate.
I'm a man of culture, jalapeno Cheetos. That's true. They probably have like 8 billion different types of Cheetos now. I never even look at them.
I won't. You know what? Actually, to be honest with you, I can't shit on Cheetos because there is actually a cultured Cheeto. It certainly isn't the jalapeno one. There's a Mexican street corn Cheeto out now, and that shit actually kind of tastes like Mexican street corn. It's pretty dope. It's still Cheetos, so it sucks eating.
Wait, is Cheeto? It's Cheeto brand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Wait,
I forgot that I had Cheetos so recently because these were a class unto themselves that other Cheetos don't deserve to be put into.
Ryan, that's what I'm talking about right there, okay? They get stuck in your teeth, and I need tweezers to eat Cheetos.
I need a lot of floss and toothpicks, dude.
Oh, to like poke them?
I hate, it's the same reason I don't like to eat potato chips and stuff like that, is I just hate it when
Well, I was talking about
like
tweezers with tweezers because of the orange shit gets all over everything.
Oh. How is tweezers going to help that?
You pick the Cheeto up with the tweezer.
Oh! Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
Well, I thought that's what you were talking about, with the toothpicks being all fancy and shit, like you're going to put them on like a fucking tray and with toothpicks inside all of it.
No, that's what I meant. Now?
All right, then we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetos are my snack of choice when I'm stoned. I mean, anything can be a good snack when you're stoned.
That's true. Oh, that's way better. Okay. Yeah, fuck this website. I don't need you anymore.
Like tiny chopsticks. Yeah. Wait. I don't think those would taste good even if you're stoned. See what I did there? I'm a fun guy. I'm fucking hilarious. Okay.
Dude, you're quite possibly the funniest guy I've ever met in my entire life.
Have you ever watched my show on Comedy Central? It's pretty awesome.
Oh man, I wanted to have a joke for that, but I don't have one. No, haven't watched it. Probably won't, if I'm being honest.
I wouldn't watch it either.
Yeah, dude, it's not even you. It's just I haven't enjoyed anything on Comedy Central since Workaholics, and that's
Wait,
a few
they
years
make
old now.
snack chopsticks for people who play video games. Pretty cool to see your alien come together. Last time I saw just legs coming out of the mold. Yeah, well, it's okay, and I don't want to be that guy, but I got to be that guy.
You're gonna be that guy, yeah.
Yeah. It's not an alien. It's like, it's a monster. Okay, no, I'm just joking. I don't really care.
Just so you know,
I
if
mean,
that
it
ever
could be
happens
actually.
again.
It could be an alien. We don't know.
Yeah, we do too fucking know. The game tells us it's not an alien. It's a kid who got experimented on.
By what?
Dudes at fucking the pharmaceutical company, dude. It's like literally part of the game.
Yeah. What do they use?
Fine, they use alien cum, dude. They were like, hey, we found this alien cum, and we're just gonna rub it all over fucking children, you weird
Dude,
fuck.
they potentially use alien tech. Literally, you don't know.
That's okay, maybe alien tech, but that doesn't make a person who gets experimented on with alien tech into an alien. Maybe, I don't know. I don't fucking know. You know what? Fine, you win the argument. There you go. Happy birthday.
I'm just saying, it's like saying that the creature in the thing is not an alien because it's humans modified by an alien.
Well, I suppose that's fair. Something probably, I don't know. I'm not really paying attention. Dang, dude, I decided to jump on the forest, and it turns out I'm in that cave we went into, that, where you get the fucking, whatchamoots, night vision goggles. And I'm all the way at the end where you can't go any further.
Yeah, you wear them like rings so you can hold the controller still. Interesting.
Wait, these are chopsticks?
I guess, yeah. And they're like attached to rings so that you can put them on your fingers, I guess. Like, and I don't poke and grab. Dude, I don't know. I just had like a mental fart trying to think about how I actually hold chopsticks to begin with and how much more difficult it would be if they were just like extension of my knuckles.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, right? Like
unless they become my fingers, I don't know if I'd do well with that. Shit, I barely do well with like actual regular chopsticks.
I do all right. I got that shit down a little bit. So
I mean, I do all right, but like it's so rare that I end up using them that every time I use them, I have to spend a good 5-10 minutes being like, how do I get my stupid fat hands to do this again? And then eventually I'm all right.
Wait, that's the kind of thing your brother uses? The little video game chopsticks? Wait, so are they made for kids or are they made... What's up? Hi, what kind of monster we making? If you guys have ever played the video game The Forest, not the new one, but the original one, there's a creature called an Armsie. And that's what this bad boy is. Actually, I have a video for those of you that are on Kick or Twitch or YouTube or, whatever. Here, we're making this thing. Check it out. Yeah, I saw them on someone's video using them. Then on Temu? Yeah, but I'm wondering if they're just made for kids and video gamers took them over. They're like, these are made for kids learning how to use chopsticks, and I'm going to use them to eat Cheetos while holding my controller. I feel like this is a possibility.
I feel like it's maybe the only option.
Now I got to watch Mr. Good movie. Wait, what movie? Were we talking about a movie just now? I don't think we were. They're made for all ages. Hey, they may be made for all ages.
Was someone maybe referencing the video clip you just mentioned or something?
I don't know, maybe. Lagged out's ready though. Oh, okay. Thanks for liking the live, guys. You are awesome. But they're easier than regular. Well, yeah, probably. If they literally like attached to your fingers, I imagine there would be it's like cheating, right? I thought having to master chopsticks or like look like a fool trying to use them was part of the experience of eating at like sushi restaurants.
Well, kind of is, I would say.
Yeah, but if you cheat with finger sticks, it's reminiscent of the Oak Studio or Oat Studio creature with all the extra limbs. Yeah. That's Oat Studio, isn't it? OATS. How in the earth did you know that movie lagged out? Oh, Talk to Speak. Yeah, okay, yeah. I've watched most of the Oat Studio stuff, but it was years ago when it first was only on like on YouTube, and so I only kind of vaguely remember all of them. Oh no, I know what exactly one you're talking about. I used it for reference. You're talking about Zygote. That is that's their best one. The Zygote short is their best one. It's fucking amazing. Have you ever watched any of the Oat Studio stuff, Triceratops? Or Lagged Out? You should do it too if you haven't.
I don't know.
So I think it is on Netflix now, but Oat Studio is by the guy that runs it. What is his name? He's the one that did District 9.
Oh, okay. Don't know his name, but I know the movie.
Yeah, and he started like a studio and did a bunch of shorts. It's like super effects heavy. And I want to say he even might have been the one that did the like. Do you remember that first short for what the like Halo movie was gonna be that came out back like 15 years ago, and you could watch it on YouTube? And it was like,
oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I think he did that one.
No shit.
Yeah, he does a ton of shorts. But if you look up Oat Studio on Netflix, Blancamp. Yeah, is it Neil Blancamp? I can't fucking say that last name. Anyhow, he has a bunch of shorts as part of Oats Studio, and it's really good. Zygote is the best one. I want to say it's like maybe 20 minutes long, but it inspired. It's what I used kind of as some reference for my original design of the Huddle, because it literally is like there's a movie representation of I think what would be like the closest thing to a Huddle.
Okay.
Why do I always end up sculpting things with like 8 billion arms and they like fleshy blob things? I'm like subliminally inspired by The Thing. Also, you know what movie I've been trying to watch and I cannot seem to find on, like, I'm sure I could rent it, is the 80s Blob movie. I really want to watch that. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I've never seen it, I don't think.
Neil Blankenship? Neil Breen? No, it's Neil Blomkamp or something like
Neil Breen.
I don't even know who Neil Breen is, bro.
I'm pretty sure Willow Tree River Fountain Horse Trop Sticks or whatever the long new name is mentioned Neil Breen a while ago on a stream.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Dude, I gotta at least at some point find dude, I finally found a fucking hang glider in the forest. I mean, Sons of the Forest.
In the map we were playing in?
No, it's in my solo file, but yeah, I found one. It's up in the mountains by a cave I didn't know about.
Cosmic horror is my favorite kind. You can have so much fun with human form. That's true. Yeah, cosmic horror, for sure. It's up there.
What's in this cave? Yeah. Oh, it's an awesome cave.
I just always forget. I still haven't seen any of these Neil Breen movies, so
You won't want to, but it's sort of worth your time. Only to be able to talk about the fact that you've seen a Neil Breen movie, really. But they're fucking great.
that doesn't seem worth it to me.
I'll be honest with you, dude. They're like, you know how there's some movies that are just so bad they kind of become good again.
I know these movies
bad.
exist, but I can't actually think of one that is so bad that it's good. And I love B-horror movies. Give me an example, homie.
Half the things I've ever watched with you. No, let me think of a good example. So bad it's good. I was gonna say Evil Bong, but that's just bad. This is a little too mainstream, but like fucking, the Expendables movies. I mean, I guess if the only thing you have is a penis and no brain,
no, but technically speaking, they're not bad from any kind of like technical aspect. Do you know what I mean?
We're going only by technical stuff.
Well, I guess I don't know what you're talking about when you say it's so bad. Like,
when I say watching it, oh my goodness, it could be any number of things. It could be the production, it could be the acting, it could be whatever. If it's generally horrible to the point where you still enjoy it, that's what I mean by bad but good.
Okay. The Room is a terrible example.
Oh,
that's just bad.
That's a great example. There's a ton of people. I've watched The Room like 1,000,000 times because it's so bad.
Yeah,
that's the best example, probably.
Okay, but using The Room as an example, like I've only watched it once because it was so bad that it was bad. It wasn't so bad that it was good.
That's probably a little bit better if you're aware of all the memes, but otherwise, it's a bad movie.
Well, I mean, the first time I watched it was like 13 years ago. Were there memes about it at that point?
Well, not immediately, but people were ripping on it pretty fast after it came out. I mean,
the movie about them
at night for like 70 years. So that it got.
Yeah, the movie about The Room with James Franco, I enjoyed.
Dude, by the way, the new hang gliders are amazing.
Yeah, apparently they fly way further.
Dude, I'm like out over the presumably ocean and shit. I don't even think I've lost fucking elevation yet.
Altitude?
Whatever. The air version of elevation.
Dude, Kyle and I went down a rabbit hole about air pressure the other day. We probably spent a good 20 minutes talking about it. Because the part that we got confused about is why the measuring device on a vacuform machine measures different units than a pressure pot. Okay.
What are the units?
So the units on a pressure pot is PSI, and the units on a vacuform machine is HG over IN. Okay, which has to do with mercury in reference to a square inch or an inch, and PSI just stands for pounds per square inch, right?
Yeah.
So what's funny though is when you start really analyzing air and like air pressure and shit.
Yeah.
It actually, a vacuum is one more precise? No, it's not. One isn't more precise from what I can tell. It's just that one is used for negative pressure versus positive pressure. Because what's interesting is that pounds and inches are big numbers. They very much are. I guess never really thought about this, but a vacuum it's just negative pressure. Do you understand what I mean? Like, it's not actually a separate thing. If you're in a vacuum, you're just in a room that has lower pressure than the other room. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like when we say something is a vacuum, it is in fact, it is a vacuum because that's the word we use, but otherwise it's just an area that has less pressure than what we considered to be able to exist in. And then we found out that a human body, evenly dispersed, could withstand up to 1,000 pounds of pressure dispersed on their body.
Crazy. I always thought a vacuum was supposed to be just like a space with like a total absence of any kind of matter.
Well, Bear, again, a vacuum can be obviously different levels of vacuum, right? That's the whole idea, is that I don't know if maybe outside of like maybe a black hole, but even space, I don't think is a true, I don't know if maybe it would be the true vacuum. I don't know. But like the idea is that it's so low pressure that things that aren't designed to be in that pressure, will expand essentially, right? So,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean there's no pressure. You following me?
Yeah.
It's just weird shit. It's weird shit.
Dude, I wonder how well a tardigrade would survive in one of those things. Those things live through, like, all the things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Lindsay really likes them. They're little, little worm bears, right?
Yeah. Shits are cool. Like, I can survive in the void of space and then like
Glitch thinks they can.
million degrees temperatures and shit.
Yeah, Glitch thinks they can exist in space.
That's what the science says. So
Oh, does it? Okay, yeah.
that was one of the first things I learned about them was that I don't think it's indefinitely. I think there's like a limited time that they can survive in the void of space, but it definitely sounds like it's much longer time than anything else here.
Well, I found out recently, I think I was actually talking to Glitch, that like, I used to think that like, if you got shot out of an airlock or something into space, like a human,
Yeah.
that it wasn't quite instant death, but it was very quick death. But apparently you can actually like survive for a bit of time out in space. And not very long, but like longer than I thought. I thought it was fairly quick. Maybe not instantaneous, but damn close.
Yeah, it's from what I understand, it's a good number of minutes, isn't it? Like 5-10 minutes.
Well, I'd
or
imagine it's
something.
pretty much however long you could hold your breath if you didn't have like a way to breathe, right?
Oh, actually, it's true. I've also heard that the whole like you freeze immediately thing is also not true.
That's the part. Yeah, you don't freeze immediately because it's cold, but it's not like I'm sure you will freeze. It's just like how long it would take to freeze.
Yeah.
They're on the moon now. Wait, who's on the moon? They can do 30 years without water. Oh,
What the fuck? How do we know 30 years? Did we find one of these things like when we went to the moon the first time, and then in like 1999 we were like, ah, fuck, it's dead now. Okay, I guess they can only live this long without water. I'm not challenging the information. I'm just curious how they found out.
We're still talking about tardigrades, right?
Presumably.
Okay.
Dude, long form research, dude. That stuff blows my mind a little bit.
I'm sure you heard talk about one of my roommates from college, but his name was Drew.
Nope, never heard you talk about Drew before ever.
Anyways, he was part of I think it's still going on. It's like a 70-year study or something like that. Well, obviously it's still going on if he's part of it. But my point is, he was adopted, and where he was adopted, he got, I guess his parents signed him up for this like long, maybe not 70 years, but like 50-year long study about adopted children. And so he, I think it's every year or every 2 years, he actually gets called and does like a sit-down meeting and answers a bunch of questions as all part of this study. And it's happened apparently the entire time throughout his life.
I've heard of studies like that. That's pretty interesting. To be honest with you, though, when you first said he was part, I thought you were going to just say tardigrade afterwards, not of a study.
His part
Yeah,
tardigrade.
I don't know if you've heard me talk about my roommate Drew before, but yeah, he was part tardigrade.
Yeah.
And if he was, that'd be kind of cool, but just like an 8-armed human being who can survive the void of space.
I just don't know how I feel about the name tardigrade. Isn't that something from like Doctor Who?
No, that's the TARDIS, I think.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just surprised that they picked a name like tardigrade with everybody so offended by the first part of that name.
Shoot me into space, that's how I want to go. Yeah, that would be pretty painful. I think it was the Saudis that split the tardigrades.
What?
I don't know, Lagdout's talking some crazy stuff.
Why are fucking the Saudis vivisecting motherfucking tardigrade?
Yeah, agreed. This is weird.
The Chinese are killing all the pangolins, dude. I don't know what's going on in Asia right now. Oh, that's
Look at that,
quite a...
look at that Armsie butt, guys. Right now it's a butsy. Split. Oh, wait. What? Spilt. Oh, wait. What? Spilt, not split. I think it was Saudi Arabia that spilt them. What does that mean?
When did Saudi... Is this an explanation for how they got on the moon? Now I'm extra confused.
I have no idea what's going on at this point.
Okay, cool. As long as it's not just me.
Yeah, I think we have bigger questions. What's Saudi Arabia doing on the moon with tardigrades?
Well, that's
and then just like accidentally dropping them. Like,
I
oops, there go all the tardigrades.
Oops, all tardigrades.
Oh, they did spill them on the surface of the moon.
When did the fucking Saudis go to the moon? Or anything from Saudi Arabia go to the moon? I've never heard of this.
Why isn't Trice in chat? He never is in chat when he hangs out.
Yeah, yo, I got one screen and I'm trying to play the Sons of the Forest right now, so. Also,
I mean, technically,
if y'all think
he's
I talk
kind
a lot,
he's in more of a chat than you guys kind of are. I'm just saying.
yeah, y'all are in a text, a group text. I type faster than I talk, so that probably wouldn't be a wise decision for anybody.
Do you really? I can see that actually.
Dude, I type at like 80 words a minute as long as it's my own words. I'm a little slower with dictation, but not that slow. Pretty sure I'm not saying 80 words a minute out loud here, so it's probably better for everyone.
He has a phone, doesn't he? Ooh, damn.
Oh, jeepers, because I'm just going to be operating my phone with my two hands that are actively on an Xbox controller right now. Good point.
Oh, dude, you know what you could get? Finger sticks.
Someone to fucking type shit for me?
Fingers.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to just chopstick my messages around to everybody while I'm trying to actively play a game.
Or get that mouse. You've seen that mouse that has like 18 triggers on it and shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude, that one that looks like the Batmobile's showing off at a Tesla event. Yeah, that one. I know what you're talking about.
Is that what it looks like?
I was trying to think of some sort of car show where they'd be showing off a bunch of features, and I just assumed it would be Tesla because that's all they're good for.
We can hear him. He doesn't have to type. Then why did you ask why he isn't in chat?
That's a very valid question, I think.
He felt threatened, I think.
Who did?
Oh, because he could read it. Oh, that's true. I get it. They're saying that you don't have to type, you just have to read it.
Well, maybe I should just jump into the verbal chat so I don't have to read shit while I'm trying to play video games. How about that for a science?
Well, and what he doesn't want you to know, guys, is he actually doesn't know how to read.
Yep, I can type really fast, but I just can't read what I wrote.
Armsie butt.
I feel like I need to make this place a little bigger.
Wait, I'm sorry. I know you answered this. At least I think you did. You're on the file that we were playing on, right?
No, I'm not on that one. I to be honest with you, I don't even dare go on that one right now. We're on like day 30, and just as a regular thing, waves of a dozen dudes come at us. And we have building destruction on. Yeah, not going in there by myself.
Yeah. And this thing's heavy to try and like hold this fucking thing while I'm doing this.
Maybe
I need to make a stand for it. I'm gonna keep it working on his butt. That's like someone I went to school with saying he could understand foreign language but couldn't speak them. I hear that's actually pretty common.
That's a very normal thing. Learning to like read and write a language is, at least from my perspective and from the perspectives of a few of my classmates back in the day, reading and writing that shit easy as hell. Being able to hear it is actually easier than being able to speak it, because you can like learn what those words mean, but the part of your brain that's going to try to slap that shit together with the right conjugation and all that stuff
in real time
apparently is a different part. Yeah, like I can hear, let's say I go to the grocery store and there's a family that speaks Spanish, and they're talking in Spanish. I'll probably understand a good majority of that unless it's like highly technical language or something. And even then, because of the bits of English that come from Greek and Latin, there's enough commonalities there that if it is highly technical language, sometimes, it's like instead of biology, it's like biología, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, that's the same thing. The word ending's different, but Um, so yeah, I mean, like I can hear Spanish, but more than making up a sentence to say that I can barely speak it, I can't really speak it anymore.
You can't speak Spanish?
Not well. Like if I needed to, I could struggle bust my way through a conversation, but there's a big part of me that, you know, like I wouldn't trade my time in Munich for anything really, but there's a part of me that thinks I would have just been better off having gone somewhere where the native language is Spanish, because I have way more opportunity to use Spanish here in the States. Whereas the German, like, unless I want to move back to Michigan to a little town in the middle of the Lower Peninsula where there's actually like a fucking pretty big German-speaking population, I fucking never use that here in the States. You know, I get to use it like once every 7 months when a random German or Austrian orders something from us, and I notice that their email has .de in it. And even then, half the time they just write back in English because they want to be cool because they can speak English. Like that's
They
really
want to
cool.
be using English.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I had a buddy named Axel who we almost only spoke in English because he hates German. Now, admittedly, he hates German because his name Axel, or Axel, like Axl Rose in English, sounds exactly like the German word Axel, which is spelled differently and means armpit. So he spent his entire childhood and most of his college years being called armpit sweat by everybody. And that would probably make you hate your language too. But anyway, you know, like it's kind of a point of pride for at least some of the Germans that I knew that they not only can speak English fluently, but generally more correctly than Americans and British people. So yeah, it's a whole language acquisition's a whole crazy thing.
Gas in Spanish is gas. It doesn't surprise me. I did that with learning Spanish with a friend. She only spoke in English to practice, and I only replied in Spanish. That's a good idea.
I was doing that with a dude at the Shell at the end of our street in San Diego until COVID made him not work there anymore.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, man. If only COVID hadn't hit, I might be fluent in Spanish again. Dude, I don't know where my head's at, man. I played the forest for like 10 minutes, and now I'm back to working on that same magic deck for some reason.
All over the place, man. I'm gonna shower. I shall return. Hold down the fort. Gotcha.
They shower return. Huh. Oh man, I'm an idiot.
I totally missed it. Thanksgiving, or wait, what? The Kingslayer 900. Thank you for the follow. Sorry I missed that. That was like an hour ago.
Kingslayer 900, dude.
Game of Thrones fan right there.
The 900th Game of Thrones fan, specifically.
And actually, you know what? I guess with that name, it doesn't actually have to be a Game of Thrones fan either, technically. Armsie has a luscious booty. The Armsie does have a luscious booty. Like I said, it's really the booty-y. The butsy. We're going to call it butsy, okay?
I'm kind of surprised you didn't go with assy. That's just Armsie with the R and M taken out.
That's true. Assy would have been good.
I guess that'd be more like the Azzy, like because we spell as is just a whatever. You know, either way works, I guess. All right, so the French, are you here?
Did you get a chance to play any of your Magic game over the weekend?
I know. Tony and Amanda were over at, I think, probably your parents' house for Friday and Saturday. By the time they got here on Sunday, I just felt awful, so I was in my room the whole time.
Glitch says she's sorry you're sick.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry I'm sick too. Time
Getting
for
used to sculpting with this epoxy shit is interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, every time I start sculpting with something new, it's always a little bit tricky. I'm too lazy to switch apps. What app do you want to switch to? Oh, Discord probably updated, I guess. Yeah, all right. Oh, to text him? Oh, dude, tomorrow. Update, right?
Yup. We got the update tomorrow. We got Matt's special guest, whoever that is again. Got my doctor's appointment in the morning. And let's not forget the most important thing that's happening tomorrow, dude.
I already said it, the update.
No, dude, it's 420, you know, that thing we all cared
That's
about
right, yeah.
like
Yeah,
18 years ago. Oh mein Gott! Das ist der Geburtstag Hitlers. Ah, 9. Oh, I'm sorry. Ach, 9. That'd be more German. Did you know that? It's Sophia's birthday tomorrow.
I think I did actually know that.
Yeah, it only popped into mind because I'm listening to that thing about Josef Mengele, which, holy fuck, dude, I learned some shit that made my impression of how awful the Holocaust was seem pretty tame by comparison to what I found out this morning.
How long is that episode, I guess? It's Behind the Bastards, right?
Yeah, it's Behind the Bastards. This one, I think he said in the first episode it's going to be a 4-parter, but yeah, dude, there's like some shit that I found out in this podcast where I was like, dude, how did I not get taught that? Well, it was like when I was in school and shit, you know, like, and maybe some of the stuff are things that I had been taught in one of the various like history classes or whatever that I took, and I forgot. But like, there's we ever heard the term Sonderkommando?
Is that like super?
Well, that would be Superkommando. But,
oh, okay.
Sonderkommando is the German word for a special unit.
Oh, okay.
It's a compound word. But apparently during the Holocaust, there were a particular kind of Sonderkommando unit, which, or I guess Sonderkommando, but anyway, yeah, at fucking Auschwitz, where Josef Mengele was stationed or whatever, there was a Sonderkommando unit there where it was basically made up of the prisoners of the camp, and it was super fucked up too, because like the things that they'd have these guys doing is cleaning up the ashes of the already cremated Jewish people that they arrived with in the camp. And in fact, so every 4 months, because the Nazis were afraid that the Sonderkommandos would eventually, you know, work together to sabotage things and like work against the Nazis. They every 4 months would execute everyone in their Sonderkommando unit and then pick a new group of imprisoned Jewish people to make up the new Sonderkommando unit. And their first duty every time would be to clean and sift through the ashes of the unit that was just murdered.
Wait a minute. Why did they do that again? Why did they do it every month?
It was every 4 months, and it was to prevent the Sonderkommandos from getting together to sabotage or fight back against the Nazis. Apparently, they figured 4 months was a short enough time that the unit wouldn't be able to work together to come up with a plan. And yeah, so they would literally just execute the full unit. Another thing that I found out that is just like the most like horrid, evil shit is that a lot of the doctors working. Oh, well, actually, fucking everything about doctors. I now am totally okay with not liking doctors in real life today because
Any
they
doctors
come from a
ever.
horrible tradition. Yeah, like doctors, that profession, like physician, medical doctor, was the most common occupation amongst members of the SS. And would you like to guess how much more likely a doctor was to join the SS than a man in literally any other occupational capacity at the time?
Is it I'm guessing a percentage, right?
The percentage times more likely. Times more likely would be easier, but
Oh, okay. Someone who's already a doctor, right?
someone who's already a doctor by profession, how many times more likely were they to join the SS than
I'm gonna say
dude
like
who did anything
6
else?
times more likely.
Very close, 7 times more likely than the next most common.
Well, because they're already like wealthy, right?
No, it was specifically because of what they did. Because fucking Hitler made like statements basically like, dude, if you're a fucking like baker or an accountant, we don't even really need you. We just need doctors because like it's a misconception that Hitler thought that the Germans or the people he was misdescribing as Aryan, since none of them are from Iran. A lot of people think that he believed they were the what's the word, like superior race or whatever, but that wasn't actually the belief. Now, generally speaking, it's not really worth correcting anybody because that's close enough. But what the actual like Nazi philosophy was, it wasn't that Germans were like this super race. It was that through medical and scientific methods, they could become a super race.
Yeah,
and their methods for doing that were murdering everybody that had genes they didn't like. Now, of course, because they were doing like a sloppy pseudo-scientific version of anthropology and genomic studies and whatnot, didn't work out too well. You know, like one of the things they were trying to do is eradicate criminality, which they considered to be a genetic trait. But the problem with that was almost everything was considered criminal behavior, including just not being pale. So they couldn't, there was no like solid actual thing for them to use. There was no like certain criteria there. So it was like, how do we mix our fucking like idealistic racism with actual hard facts? And it just doesn't work, you know? And so, yeah, it's fucked up. But yeah,
well, I know a lot of, correct me if I'm wrong, just like in general, a lot of that, I mean, Hitler was all about like the occult and all that bullshit too. Like he was.
Yeah, to be honest with you, on that end of things, I'm still a little uncertain about how occulty he was. There's some stuff I've read.
Whether it's him or like other people in his.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. There is some element of that, but I just don't know how influential that really was in like the whole shebang, for lack of a better word.
Well, I mean, there's tons of movies that have been made about like, I mean, Hellboy. The whole premise of Hellboy is that it was the Nazis up to some sneaky ass shit and like, you know, trying to, you know, unleash the devil basically, right? But not even that, like Indiana Jones, like there's this entire mythos about like him being into some funky ass shit.
Yeah. So.
And those are all movies. I'm not saying that like I should take them seriously, but.
Well, yeah, but there's some element to that being part of those movies that does have some place in like that part of German history. So, for instance, have you ever heard of the name Kurt Eisner?
Why have I heard that name? I've heard that name.
You probably would have heard it in like a history class or something along those lines. But Kurt Eisner was a fairly popular like Jewish politician. I think he was a politician, but he was somebody that was like a public figure in Munich back in like the early 20th century, and he was very well liked by the general population. But there was, and this is where we get into the occult stuff. There was a secret society or whatever, if you will, called Die Thule-Gesellschaft, or the Thule Society in English, and they were this like fucking weird warped occult group that basically believed. I'm probably going to be somewhat only like partially accurate on this. It's been a while, but their beliefs were that the Bible was like true, but that it had been stolen by the Jews, and that in reality all of the stories in that book took place somewhere up in Northern Europe, and all the names have been changed, and blah 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 blah, and that when the coming of Christ happened, it would actually be a quote unquote like Aryan or Nordic Christ who had come from somewhere in Scandinavia. And there was this young fucking like what do you call him, like this douchebag that was like part of the nobility or whatever. I'm trying to find the dude's name. Fine. You know what? Who killed Kurt Eisner? Killed Kurt Eisner. Anyway, there's this dude. Oh, that's right. That was his name. Anton Graf Arco-Valley. I don't know how he got that last name, but anyway, this Anton guy, from what I recall when I went to the Kurt Eisner Memorial, if I remember correctly, basically he was this like young man who wanted into the Thule Gesellschaft and I think also the SS, but they were like, no, there was a Jewish guy in your family on your father's side. You're not Jewish enough. You're not German enough, you know. And he was like, I'm gonna prove I'm German enough, and the Jewish stuff isn't part of me or whatever. And so he went and murdered this politician. And there's still a monument, or a memorial is probably a better term, but there's a memorial of Kurt Eisner's assassination, and it's, if you're not paying attention, you might accidentally do something very disrespectful, because it's literally like a permanent version of the chalk outline where his murdered body was found.
Oh, you've told me. I don't know why you would have told me this story outside of this other story, but you've told me about this, or I've heard about it from someone else, one of the two. You visited.
I know. I know I've mentioned it before. I can't remember the context for why I would have brought it up, but yeah, basically Kurt Eisner was murdered so that this fucking idiot who had like a Jewish person in his family 2 or 3 generations back could prove he was Aryan enough to be a fucking Nazi. Man, we got off track. Anyway, my point was, fucking doctors, awful people. Don't trust them. And so they made up the majority of the SS. But then when it came to like Auschwitz and a lot of the concentration camps, a lot of the doctors working in them, because it was like the concentration camps were pretty much run by physicians, and fucking Mengele wasn't the head guy at Auschwitz. He was the next guy down. But he had such a reputation that like these days it's commonly thought he was like the head at like fucking Auschwitz. Dude. Yeah, but he wasn't really. But there were some things that made him particularly atrocious and like monstrous by comparison to the others. Like, don't get me wrong, Nazis are Nazis. They're all awful. But like at Auschwitz, for instance, both a lot of the Nazis themselves, and then so another thing with Auschwitz, a lot of the doctors there are of course Nazis, but a shitload of the other doctors there are imprisoned Jewish people who are being forced to basically doctors. Well, yeah, but the German doctors would force the Jewish doctors and other Jewish prisoners to actually commit the terrible acts to other Jewish people. You know, like they'd have a Jewish guy turn on the oven so that they didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so that I find particularly horrific. It's like knowing that either you kill your own people or you get killed for it, and then they find another person of your own people who fears for their life enough that they will kill everyone else. So you're fucked either way, and everyone's dying either way. And there's so much more to that I could mention, but obviously,
does
fucking awful.
Does the podcast that you listen to, does it tell you like what's coming up next, like the next person they're going to do the podcast on, or no?
Generally, I want to say no. If it's a multi-part episode, then you might get like here's what's coming up in the next episode sort of a thing. But if I recall, I don't think Robert generally goes, hey, here's who's coming next, you know. At most, maybe, you know, ironically, I think the closest he comes to doing that is something he's done in a few episodes prior to starting the Mengele episodes, which is just mentioning that his like fan base wanted him to cover Joseph Mengele, and he's like, eventually I'm gonna do it, but you fucking shitbirds better fucking be careful what you ask for, because you're not gonna be getting the story you think you're getting, and you're not gonna like it, you know. And so far,
It's just kind of crazy, because isn't that one kind of stereotypical, though? Like, even if you don't know everything about him, like, everyone does know bad. Like, baseline bad.
People know bad, but that's it. You know, most of the people I've ever talked to just think Mengele was this dude who was a Nazi and then escaped over to South America and did some crazy shit up in the Andes, which is kind of part of his story. But
well, I mean, I knew that he performed experiments on well, probably at the very least just the Jews, if not other terrible things too.
Well, yeah, it would have been Jewish people, people with, you know, mental.
I'm saying, like, who knows what the fuck he was up to even prior to his involvement in World War II.
Well, I can tell you that. Not a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the fucked up thing about this dude is he's kind of an example of how someone who maybe could have been a great person can very easily be corrupted. Because, like, when he was a kid. Well, yeah, I mean, he was smart, but what I mean is, like, there's documentation that talk about, like, his earlier part of his life, and, you know, like, the weird thing is, I mentioned this to you the other day, but the guy started out as, like, this little kid who, for instance, wrote an entire play to perform in front of the orphans in this local orphanage, and he was, like, volunteering with the Red Cross and, like, doing all these things that you would normally assume is something a person with human empathy would do.
Thank you very much.
And maybe when he was that young, he had that. Surely. But yeah, but he just it's so weird because, like, obviously there was a shit ton of the pre-actual Nazi party, like, anti-Semitism stuff going on, because that was pretty much everywhere, you know.
Right.
But at least in the first part of his life, he's not, like, more anti-Semitic than what's just, I guess, considered, like, the norm for the culture he's in at the time, right? But then, like, basically this one doctor's like, hey, we're gonna do a twin study, and he's like, oh, dude, I'm weirdly horny for twins, and now let's kill all the Jews. You know, like, It's fucking weird. And well, there's other stuff too. Like, one of his influences was this guy who fucking hated Jewish people for literally the fucking, what's that movie called? Jojo Rabbit reason. Kinda.
I don't remember what the reason was in Jojo Rabbit.
In Jojo Rabbit, it shows fucking, is it Jojo Rabbit, or am I thinking something else? Is it Jojo Rabbit where Hitler, like, goes to go on a date with a woman and she's Jewish and she, like, turns him down during the date?
That's not
then,
Jojo
like,
Rabbit.
What am I thinking of? You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. Unless you saw that one where he's the artist. Have you seen the movie where, like, that it's portrayed? That actually kind of tells the story.
Maybe I did. I just remember there's some movie I saw where, like, they're making a joke on how Hitler became anti-Semitic, and it's like he goes on a date, woman turns him down, he's like about to leave, and then, like, an old Jewish guy, like, bumps into him or something, and then some third thing happens where it's also a Jewish person, and then after that he's like just Hitler, you know. But anyway, no, whatever movie I'm thinking of, the joke they make about that is actually the reality of one of the dudes that influenced Mengele, because the dude hated Jews because a Jewish man dated his ex-girlfriend while he was in college, and it made him very sad. So he apparently thought all the Jewish men ever needed to be killed for that. Yup.
Overreaction much?
Yeah, right. I mean, talking about, like, traits to genetically breed out, I would say most of those traits would have been encompassed by the Nazi party themselves. You know, like, the funniest thing to me when it comes to them talking about being genetically superior is that, like, every well-known, like, head of the Nazi regime was just riddled with physical and mental maladies, dude. Like, just like fucking Hitler couldn't control his butthole. He was the child of his mom and his mom's uncle, to rephrase his dad. You know,
yeah,
like,
but I mean, okay, but what is it? You always hate what is that thing? You hate what you in
see
others.
In the mirror
yeah. You hate in others what you see in yourself or whatever.
I mean, maybe that's part of it, but Jesus Christ, dude, break a mirror instead. Like, fucking balls, man. Like, that dude, and it's crazy, man. Like, even the general public, just because he's such an infamous figure, knows an awful lot about Hitler. But when you know, like, there's, like, I think 3 or 4 different episodes of the Behind the Bastards podcast that are specifically about him, not even just about, like, the Holocaust and stuff going on, but specifically about Hitler. And it's like, the more you come to find out about this man, it's like, how did he fucking make it to the point where he even became the Hitler that we all know and hate? You know, like, that dude is so fucked up.
There's this one movie. Maybe it's not the one that you saw, or it's not the one that you're thinking of. But there's this movie where I know him from Game of Thrones, and I know him from what's his fucking called? Tomb Raider, the first one. Oddly enough, but her like little sidekick nerdy guy plays Hitler in this movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's got Liam Neeson and him in it. And Liam Neeson plays this art director, or like this art gallery guy and it's early in his life, like while he's a painter, and he's trying to like sell his work. And at the very end, like Hitler's waiting for a meeting with Liam Neeson, and like to get a deal to sell his paintings, right? And Liam Neeson gets killed, like on the way to the meeting, and Hitler thinks that that he just blew him off because no one wants to buy his paintings. And so literally the next like shot, which is the end of the movie, is him like starting to act as a
Nazi or whatever.
Well, yeah, but like getting people like riled up for the army. Like,
like a
battalions and stuff like
something.
yeah, kind of, yeah. And then that's how the movie ends. So, but it's like I said, probably not the movie you were talking about. But
Yeah,
it's still a good movie. I
don't
don't think it's Jojo Rabbit because I don't think we ever see real Hitler in Jojo Rabbit.
I think maybe you're right.
We just see that weird like hallucination friend thing, whatever the fuck is happening in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely not Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, it's not. What is it?
I don't know what it is, but I just looked up the Jojo Rabbit cast just to see, and Adolf Hitler is played by someone named Taika Waititi.
Who did you think, in your memory, this person was being played by?
Well, not a dude as handsome as this dude from New Zealand here, so okay. I have no idea. I don't really want to Google Hitler movies.
There's probably a fuck ton of them when you really think about it.
Yeah, I know, and then also that's like in my, history. It's Hitler movies. Fuck it, I don't care.
Dude, you're on stream talking about.
Yeah, but the fuck? There's a show called Meet the Hitlers. Oh, it's on Pluto TV. I'm sure nobody ever saw it. Okay. Oh, am I thinking of Kung Fury? It's not Kung Fury, is it?
Oh, it could. I forgot that Hitler was in there. That kid was a character.
That's like he's half of the movie. But no, it's not Kung Fury either. What the fuck? I do kind of want to watch that movie.
This epoxy resin stinks.
Is it that stuff that smells like puppy breath and armpits or whatever?
Yeah, what did you call it earlier? What did you say? It was like, did you? Yeah,
puppy breath and
skunk, wasn't it?
Skunk, yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yep.
That's like one of the best descriptions for this shit ever.
What the fuck? Okay, man, there are too many Hitler movies. There's a movie called African Kung Fu Nazis. The description is, a Kung Fu disciple seeks bloody revenge against Adolf Hitler and his army of goons in Ghana.
Did you go to like IMDb? Where are you?
No, I googled it like I just said I wasn't going to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm never going to really figure out what movie this is. Is there a fucking Mel Brooks Hitler movie? The fuck?
Is there? I don't know, man.
Oh,
You've gone to part of the internet I have not been to, so...
Google search results?
Well, by searching that, yeah.
Well, fair. You ever seen speaking of Hitler movies, you ever seen The Great Dictator, the Charlie Chaplin movie?
Yes, way back in the day. I don't remember it.
It is just a very short parody of Hitler, basically, but it's like, it's not Hitler in the movie, because I think he's like a Jewish barber or something like that, but it's like, it's interesting. Also, really weird thing about it is, even though the whole movie is like making fun of Hitler, Hitler loved that movie. I was like, if you loved it, why didn't you kind of like reflect on it and maybe make some changes, you dumb shit? But whatever, I'm not Hitler, you know.
Have you ever seen the
Maybe he didn't enjoy The Great Dictator, because apparently it was banned in Germany in 1940. That would have been while he was in power.
Well, that doesn't mean he didn't like it.
Well, he might have liked it and been like, I don't want anybody else to see it. Yeah.
Or like it, yeah.
Yeah, by the way, his name, Chaplin's name in The Great Dictator as a reference to Hitler is Adenoid Hinkle.
Have you ever seen the movie Chaplin with Robert Downey Jr.?
No, have you ever seen Downey Jr. with Charlie Chaplin? It's a weird historical paradox that those two movies exist.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Movie Downey, starring Charlie Chaplin.
No.
Well, that's probably because I made it up.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, it's good. You should check it out.
Did you know Charlie Chaplin and Cher and a handful of other people, Adele, who else, have lost lookalike contests where they were supposed to look like themselves?
Oh, to like posers.
Yeah, like Charlie Chaplin, I think, got like 3rd place in a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest, which is absurd.
Oh my! You know what? I did know that. Because
that's a reference in a movie or a TV show.
Yeah, it's Lucky Number 7. Lucky Number 7.
Oh yeah.
Willis, yeah.
Yep. And then Cher also lost a Cher lookalike contest. I forget what place she got. And I just found out from Jeff a couple months ago that apparently Adele also lost an Adele lookalike contest.
That's kind of awesome. I mean, it's awesome.
It's awesome in a human brains are silly as fuck kind of way.
Yeah.
I would say.
Exactly.
How the fuck am I supposed to scroll through these shits, you motherfuckers? Is it gonna give me a whole list with no way to scroll through this shit? Oh, like that. Okay. What the fuck? There's a Three Stooges Nazis movie?
Yeah, I knew that. I'd probably lose my own lookalike content. I don't think there's any way to prepare. Well, you know what? I guess if you were a famous person, right? And you actually were self-aware enough to know when you were the most popular, and let's say that was 20 years past, like whenever that lookalike contest is, it would make sense that the majority of people would probably pick people that look like you did 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Versus how you look now.
The fuck is this? I don't know why this popped up, because I don't think this has nothing to do with Hitler, but, oh, nope, never mind. Yeah, it does. Wait, what? I'm very confused. Is this just a fat German lady, or is it supposed to be a fat Jewish lady? Anyway, there's a movie called Blubberella. It has Nazis in it. I'm watching the trailer silently, so I'm not really sure what it means, but it says, an action comedy centered on an overweight woman whose footsteps cause explosions, and whose dual swords are used against anyone who makes fun of her.
When was it made?
2011. Oh, it was made by Uwe Boll. Why do I know him?
Oh, Uwe Boll? Yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
garbage. I hate all his movies.
He's a German guy. It's Uwe.
What up, Aphrodite? What's going on, Aphrodite? What's up?
Does he have any good movies?
No, he does not. Well,
Oof.
this goes back to our question earlier. A lot of people think his movies are so bad they're good.
So I might like his movie. Oh, Jesus, he's even got a movie just called Auschwitz.
He did Blood Rain, the movie. He's done a few. He also did the House of the Dead movie.
Blood Rain? Are you talking about that, like, shitty, based on an all-rightish video game movie?
Yeah, with Michael Madsen and Ben Kingsley.
I didn't watch it. I just know it as well.
Yeah, I've never watched it either.
Oh, German fried movie.
On vacation, waiting for dinner. Well, congrats on vacation. That's pretty cool. I am not on vacation. What do we got here?
What is this fucking movie?
Yo, TikTok. I'm wrapping up stream over on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. Creatively_cursed. If you want to keep watching, go over there. Peace.
Oh, it's just comedic sketches. Okay.
You were forced to take a vacation. It's I mean, scary, but I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. I feel like having an opinion on that. I would need to know more information.
German movies, they just don't have good names or synopses. Here's an example. I was looking at Uwe Boll's crap or whatever, right? find this other one called Fake Die Fälschung. The synopsis of this movie is a man gets hurt and he does things.
It's funny is you used to say, or you do say the same thing about like KMFDM lyrics. You're just like, I don't understand why they're saying this.
They have a song called Juice and Power, and they never seem to touch on that. It seems like a good...
Which one is that again?
The Saft und Kraft.
Oh,
Saft
okay.
und Kraft. Saft und Kraft. Yeah, that song? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to look up their lyrics real quick, because now I'm curious.
My boyfriend said he worked too much, so he booked me a hotel and a bunch of stuff to do. Rock the fuck on. I don't think that would work on me. Unless the stuff to do is work.
Is the Turk so that he...
But that's nice of him. Have you moved on from just like Nazi-related movies to all German movies ever?
Oh, God. Hold on. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know if Saft und Kraft is a very good song.
Uh-oh.
Oh! I gotta be honest with you, dude. This looks like a totally racist against Turkish people song.
Against Turkish people?
Yep.
Why?
Well, at the intro to the song
Because he prepaid, gotcha.
is the line, Ist jetzt der Türke so, dass jeden Dreck, der vom Westen kommt, zu kopieren ist, genossen mit der Monotony. How do I say that in English? Without it sounding like it's out of order, because it is in German. Okay. So it basically says, how do I fucking say that? Okay. Like a direct translation is basically, is now the Turk so that every piece of dirt that from the West comes to copy is. Which of course in English sounds like some Yoda shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But he's basically like he's saying that like basically asking if like Turkish people are it seems like to me from what comes later in the lyrics, asking if like the Turks are just copying all the shitty parts of Western culture, or something like that. But then the next line is Mensch oder Schwein, which means human or pig. Then it says Sieg oder Tod, which is victory or death. It says Friss doch die Wurst, which I think that's a phrase that actually means. I mean, it means eat the sausage, though. But I'm pretty sure that. I think that's it. I think it might actually be a what you call it.
I'm making. I don't know if you guys have ever played the video game The Forest, but this is a monster from the forest. It's called an Armsie. We have the legs on it, but we do not have the arms on it yet, obviously. So right now it's a legsie. Anyhow, you were saying.
Yeah, dude.
You can obviously decipher everything a little bit better, but I didn't hear anything. At least maybe I didn't understand that first part that got all jumbled very well. So I don't.
Honestly, it's like the lyrics are so weird. It's either total nonsense or they just do not like Turkish people. And to be honest with you, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm leaning more towards they hate Turkish people. And I could see that being a thing there because you know how like fucking stupid Americans act about quote unquote Mexicans when they really mean anybody from Central or South America.
Yeah.
The racist element in Germany, the Turks are treated the same way that Latino immigrants are treated here. There's over the decades, there's just been a series of times where there have been programs where Gastarbeiter or guest workers.
Okay, so you're pulling from more information than just the song.
Than just the song, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
goes, yeah, there's like shit tons of Turkish people in like Berlin, especially, and generally in like East Germany, you'll find a lot of Turkish people. In fact, one like the most popular German like street food or fast food entree or whatever is actually a Turkish dish. It's called the döner kebab, and it's similar to like Heroes pita, like the Greek dish, but with different ingredients inside the pita. So it's similar but different. And there was a Turkish man, like I think back in the 40s or 50s, who had moved to Berlin, opened basically like a street cart sort of a stand thing. His doner kebab became like super wildly popular, and then it like spread throughout Germany. So like the most popular food in Germany, like quick dish food in Germany, isn't even German food; it's Turkish food. And
the Germans are angry about it.
Well, some of them are. If you see Germans wearing the American Confederate flag, you know they're a Nazi.
That's so weird.
Well, they wear the Confederate flag because, at least as they see it, not going to put my own opinion in here, but we know what it is. It's a symbol for racism, and because the swastika is illegal there, they use the next closest thing to the swastika, which is the Confederate flag.
Why don't they just make that illegal?
Yeah, well, then they're just gonna find some other thing, like I don't know, the fucking Punisher skull, like the cops here use,
Yeah, I understand that's gonna happen. That's a bummer because I really like the Punisher skull aesthetic.
Yeah, it's also kind of ironic because the Punisher fucking hates cops, so.
Yeah.
There's that.
Still bummed though.
Yeah.
I just like skulls, man.
I do too.
No, it's not a common thing, but. Actually, it's super fucking common, actually, now that I think about it. Skulls are like one of the most popular, probably iconic, like, designs in general. How many people have skull tattoos? How many people have skulls in their logos or their, whatever? Like, skulls are big, man.
Yeah. I mean,
But the Punisher skull kind of was really badass looking.
It is, and it's, like, iconic as hell.
I can't read what that says.
Now
they're just subscribed for 13 months.
We're on express elevator to hell, going down.
Oinky stole it.
Wait, what?
Said the Oinkies stole it.
Yeah.
Just, it's funny, speaking of like stealing things for basically the opposite of what they mean, it is hilarious to me that all these like Andrew Tate loving fucking incel motherfuckers are all like, oh yeah, the Matrix, I'm Neo, blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, but the Wachowski sisters said it's about being trans and you hate trans people, so how can you be Neo?
It still is kind of confusing though, because honestly, I've heard like a bajillion different types of fucking shits about what the Matrix is supposed to be about, and I don't know that I agree. I'm like, if that's
I'm gonna go with what the creators of the Matrix say it's about. They're probably the best source because they created it and it's their story.
Yeah, most artists poke hawk rationalize what their shit's about.
Well, okay, if we want to talk about it on the level of artists, you're all full of shit. So then nothing
I'm not
means
disagreeing.
anything.
That's my point.
I mean, god damn it. You know how frustrating it is to listen to you fucks talk at work? Oh my word. It's got to be like listening to me talk about languages and shit.
I would imagine.
Probably more frustrating because I'm talking about stuff that's actually objective facts, and you guys are like, I'm a creative. And I'm like, no, you're not an adjective, because the only time an adjective is a noun is when we say the word adjective.
I never said those words.
I didn't say you said it. I said somebody at work who I give rides to and from work said it. Actually, I didn't say that either, but now you know who it is. Oh man, I ranted at him for like our whole ride into work just last week. I was just like, fuck, dude, please don't call yourself that. Call yourself a fucking painter or an artist. You are those things. Calling yourself an adjective that literally describes every human being that's not dead makes you sound like a vapid idiot. Calling yourself a creative. You know what? Someone who makes a fucking sandwich is a creative because they created something. Someone who shits in a bowl is a creative because they created a poop.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure the guy I give rides to work to could make an argument for it.
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Oh.
Calm down. Take a breather.
I'm doing that. You're not explaining what you were saying.
I'm just saying, like, dude who makes a sandwich is also an artist, though, so you wouldn't even need the word for the creative.
Okay, 100% I agree with that. Yeah, they're a sandwich artist according to Subway. Now, I still think that's kind of bullshit. At that point, they're a sandwich creator, which is closer to creative than artist. But at least it's a fucking noun You know, it's like how everybody
Wait, you
keeps
don't
using.
think you don't think a chef is or something like that is an artist?
I don't eat art, so no.
Hmm.
Okay, if a chef is an artist, would you consider yourself as a sculptor a chef? Chef now? Like, are you gonna eat that Armsie?
I don't think that.
No,
those
you
are
can
not-
make. Look, okay, if a surgeon does a surgery really good, no mess ups, are they an artist now? If I type out a paragraph and I
No.
don't have any mistakes, am I now an artist?
No, because there's no creativity in surgery. At least there shouldn't be. Ideally, there wouldn't be. Right? It would be executing.
Well, there was a
an
first time
exact
for
thing.
everything, buddy. Somebody was an artist with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, well, fuck the surgery thing then. Obviously, that's like an established procedure. If I just write something I made up myself, am I now an artist?
Technically, yeah, you're called a writer
And why are writers artists?
because it's creativity with execution.
Okay, but does everything that's created with execution, which is literally everything created, have to be art?
That's
'Cause
not
we-
everything. Everything.
like-
Well, yeah, technically. Wait, what do you mean? Like everything is
Everything
creative?
that can be considered an artifice, as in something that has been created or is an artificial thing, is every artificial thing art now? Now, if art is just short
I'm
for artifice,
inclined.
then I'll go,
Okay,
yeah.
hold on. I'm inclined to say yes, but I depending on like you're gonna say, oh, is this random object like is toilet paper art?
It's
I-
created.
It was a creative solution. I don't know. Don't know if I'd call the person an artist.
Well, no. The concept was a creative solution. Toilet paper itself is a created object, so now
Right.
it's art, right?
No, but we're
Hmm.
talking. But bear in mind, we're also talking now about art versus artist. Those
Now
are-
let me ask you another question. Maybe this will put this sort of into some perspective here to kind of get into my head where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah.
If someone said, "Hey, I'm gonna go look at some art today in town. Do you want to come with me?" And you go to a Subway, are
Yeah.
you gonna think you
But
just
here's
saw
the
art?
problem. Hey, you know what? You and I are actually on the same page about this particular thing. But bear in mind, we're not at this point talking about artists. We're talking about what is art. Do you need one to have the other conversation?
Well, aren't they somewhat intrinsically linked? I mean, art comes from artists, and artists create art, right?
Yes, but an artist. Let me ask you this: do you believe an artist could be an artist if they never created anything?
No, I think they can be a person who wants to make themselves feel better.
But they could never be an artist, even if they had all the skill, but like just like natural, superhuman, like whatever. They have the skill to do everything. They could do any type of art, classic or otherwise, but they never did it.
At best, I would consider them Schrodinger's artist because in theory they can make the greatest of art, but they've also never done it. So who actually knows? You know,
Right. Yeah. So
maybe I don't know. Maybe it turns out I'm some sort of a savant with some type of art I don't know about. You know, but until I know about that, find it out, and actually do it, I will not be an artist.
So everyone has their own definition, but I'll tell you this. I believe that art is all about intent. So if you intend to create a piece of art, then you are likely that is all art, and then you are likely an artist.
Man, I really
I
want to
don't-
agree with you about that because I do believe that motive matters more than action most of the time. But at the same time, dude, there was that dude in like the fucking 80s or 90s who just dipped slugs in watercolor and let
Yeah.
them crawl on a canvas.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Any other, I feel like any other definition of art restricts way too much, and we can find examples that would be like that we would consider art that break that rule. And I think that any other, or it either does that, any other like versions of art either do that, or they're too wide and they let too much in. So, for example, a lot of people will allow art to be a sunset. Because art is also
Those
involved in
people are
yeah.
religious, and I don't care about their
Right.
opinion. In the
No,
first
but
place.
because those people believe that art is not just in the eye of the creator, but in the eye of the beholder. Because we can almost
Yeah,
imagine
but
things. that-
okay. But let's be
I'm
honest
not
here.
arguing that point.
When
Let
we
me
when
be
we
very,
give
very
those
clear.
kind
I
of
am not
definitions,
making
we're
that
literally
argument.
saying everything is art and nothing is art.
Yes.
It's like saying everybody's special. Well, okay.
Well, why do you
then
think
nobody
that
is?
conversation about what is art has been going on for fucking ever? Is because there is no definition of art.
No, I don't think so at all. There are definitely definitions. You can find the word in the dictionary. I think that the argument is there so that people who like to call themselves creatives can argue that what they do is art. Obviously, that's just me ripping on people who use the term creative.
Maybe.
But
But for example, do I consider your average Subway sandwich maker an artist? No. But I think you and I both could like imagine like did you watch what was that movie with the chef and he kills everyone at the end?
Oh, The Menu.
The Menu. Like, would I consider that type of chef an artist? Yes.
I will also say yes, but also that will never fucking happen. You know, like.
Well, you know, there's people out there that are like they're not the murderous part.
All right,
but,
all right.
Yeah.
To amend my all of my previous statements, probably or most of them, there are probably exceptions to things that I wouldn't normally consider art for the general, just how things are with whatever it is. I know that's very vague sounding, but I can't figure out how to put it in words.
Yeah.
But you know, okay. I don't consider Subway employees to be artists, but for instance, I know that there are people who not only like chefs who not only go through, or who are not only like excessively careful about how they prepare a meal, but part of it is literally the presentation. So if you're at the level where you're not only making sure that it has all the right textures and the right flavors and is the right portion size, but also just looks beautiful, like you'd want to see that on fucking Pinterest or some shit,
then you're talking about like aesthetics too.
I will agree to that. Yeah, like I don't know. I guess if I'm being honest, I think really a lot of things could be art that I wouldn't normally consider art, but only if someone basically like goes out of their way and does something like actually special to make that then be art.
Right. No, I don't disagree with you. I think everyone has their own version. Like when I asked Greg, you remember Greg, I asked him what his definition of art was. And for the same reason of the conversation we're having now, it's difficult to nail down, but he said
lithography.
He said, you know it when you see it. It's like porn.
I guess I can kind of agree with that. Yeah.
Which is fine, except for the problem is that because I even told him when he told me that it's a cop-out answer, because basically the idea is that then you and I could never agree. If I was blind and you said, hey, look over there's art, you and I would never, I couldn't know what that is.
Well, you might be able to if you're blind. I know that there's at least one blind painter.
Right, but my point is without touching, without seeing.
Without any sensory input.
Yeah. I don't know what art is if we don't come up with like a definition. And like I said, I'm really under the belief that the best one, which lets in and helps everybody out and doesn't also narrow it too much, is as long as it's created with intent, you're good. And the problem is it does leave out stuff like, I know it sounds weird, but like the whole like sunset thing. Like there is a beauty in some natural beauty, right? And you can capture it on a painting or in a photograph through an artistic skill, but that's it, until it's not art.
Well,
it's beautiful.
Counterpoint. Well, maybe not a counterpoint. Never mind.
So I don't know. And then, for example, this my definition, my working definition of art, then works for toilet paper, which is toilet paper would not be art, and the person who made it would not be an artist because they did not create toilet paper to be art.
The irony is, I agree with you, but also at the same time, I know that there actually is at least one toilet paper maker who kind of maybe made art.
There's a way to merge toilet paper and art. Sure.
No, I mean, like, there's a train company, I think actually in Germany or somewhere, where each square of the toilet paper has an embossed logo of the train company on it.
Yeah, but again, if you ask them, did you do this to make art or did you do this to like sell more toilet paper?
Oh, the intention has to be that it will be art.
Yeah, is that you are intending to create art.
When you said it just has to be created with intention, I was like, bro, every time I take a shit, I intend to do it. You know?
Oh no, with the intention for it to be art. Yeah.
Okay, that makes makes a lot more sense.
And it sucks because then it does let in all those assholes with the slugs, right? You brought up the slug guy. Yeah. Like it lets them in, but it does kick out any like person that's like, well, it won't. It basically wouldn't let in people's It kicks out observation, meaning that you can't just observe something and call it art. has to have been created with that intent. So, and there's a lot of that happens. Like, and the question is, can something be art that was accidentally made that wasn't intended to be art? But like it's like it could easily be art. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I would say no, only based on the vaguest definitions of art that I've seen. Where, I guess by the vaguest definition, I would say I guess it could be. No, it still wouldn't be, because even with the vague definitions, it like involves you being creative or imaginative. So if something happens on accident, that's not a result, most likely, of your creative or imaginative processes.
yeah,
I guess it could be like you had an intention to make this thing, but something went awry and it becomes something else. But
yeah, it becomes this other thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, dude, with any sort of concept, the more that I discuss it with people, the more I realize we're probably in a simulation, because it doesn't actually make sense when you break it all the way down. I don't know if we're actually in a simulation, obviously, but it's like
I find an odd comfort in in my definition. I know a lot of people don't like it because it is a little bit limiting, but there's a bigger thing that actually confuses the shit out of me. This one I can't answer because it kind of flies in the face of my thing, right?
Okay.
Let's say, okay, Kyle, he's a painter, right? Let's say someone hires him to be a painter, or
Yeah.
hires him to do a piece of art.
Yeah.
And they say, I want it to be surrealistic. I want it to have this, and this. And like, they could be as specific as they want. Let's say they're going to pay him $100,000. So he's going to do it. He needs the money, wants the money. He has the ability to execute it, right?
Yep.
But they're very specific on what they want. And he executed it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Who's the artist?
I would still argue Kyle. The individual would have known essentially what they wanted, but Kyle's personality and his interpretation of what that client wants is going to be what actually comes out as the finished product. So
my problem is that my definition falls apart, though, because if intent
it
is all
doesn't.
it takes,
No,
is
you
then the
said that it has to be created with the intent that it will be art. The person commissioning Kyle is not creating anything. Only Kyle is, which means that your definition is still sound, and Kyle is an artist now.
You don't see how you could make the argument that by the action of the person taking it on, they are creating. It wouldn't have been
You said created with the intention that it'll be art. That person did not create anything except for money in Kyle's bank account. So Kyle is the sole creator of this thing. Even if someone else said to create it,
okay, then
he would
all
still be
right.
the artist.
If I could find a way to disagree with it, but it'd be stupid. But I can even find this: Kyle technically didn't create it to be art.
Actually, that's true. He created it as basically a commissioned job.
Yes.
Well, I guess by your definition, that makes things a little more tricky then, because
So this is like that's where like my definition does kind of fall apart, is in that situation. And then if you take it even broader stances, like what we do here at the studio, right? We're all artists, and a lot of people, like, it's easy for us to say what we create is art, right? In a lot of ways, it's easy to see that, but again, it's that whole buyer seller thing that's already pre-created by someone else. Like if Matt were to create the doll, right, 100% on his own, then is it more art? Is there like degrees of art than if we just replicate it? And then at which point aren't we all just replicating everything? So all my shit just falls apart, okay? Like it works on like a surface level. So
with your definition, something you didn't clarify is, does the intention that it will be art have to be the person who's creating it? Or can it be someone else's intention and an artist then makes that happen?
I would say yes, but then I feel like you would be required to give credit you would have to give credit to the purchaser then.
Well, why not? I mean, frankly, really, the only credit you have to give them is commissioned and inspired by, and that's it.
Yes, that is true. It's just weird because we definitely would never consider the commissioner like in normal, fucking colloquially or whatever the word is, we would never consider the commissioner the artist. But technically, when you get down to the nuts and bolts, it's almost easy, or at least not easy. But
I mean, if we're gonna say that creating the art is half and half, and one full 50% is just the thought, and the other 50% is the execution, then basically Kyle and the commissioner would both be the artist. If we're gonna go purely by who's actually creating it, well, and actually no, still by your definition, even if someone else told Kyle to make it and he is doing it for money, he's still an artist and it's still art because he's still intending for it to be art. It's not like someone's gonna be like, make me a painting and he sends him a biscuit, you know, like he's still making a painting. He's still creating a thing with the intention that it will be an art piece. And there's still going to be some look, unless the other person paints
what if
it for Kyle first and then has him repaint it, Kyle's still doing a lot of the.
All right. Well, I'm curious at that point. What then? Like, what? Like,
wait, are you asking what then? Like, if the person painted it?
Yeah, literally. Like, let's say the guy painted, say, like a 12 by 12, but he want like a 12 by 12 inch, but he wants it to be a 12 by 12 foot, and he doesn't have the skill to do that, but he wants Kyle to replicate it, but in a larger scale in oil paint.
I would still argue, based on your original definition of what you consider art, that yes, that would still be art. He's still going to intend to make it be an artistic piece that's for some reason 144 square feet.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it would still in the end be art, just because just creation of something with the intent that it will be an art piece is so fucking vague. You can use it for 99% of shits, including things where I would be like, well, you utterly failed at your intention. But I guess it's art because you wanted it to be.
What's interesting that you hit on the point is the next part of why I like my definition is because if you talk about intent, then you have the ability to actually, it's kind of shitty, but you do technically have the ability to qualify good or
retroactively make up your bullshit. Yeah,
no,
okay.
No, to qualify good or bad art based upon intent.
Yeah, that sounds exactly what I just said, but with words that don't make it so honest.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah, I said it so you can retroactively say whatever the fuck you want about it, which is something you mentioned a little while ago.
Yeah.
You know, here's my thing, man. I can go into the kitchen and intend to make a ham sandwich and find out I put turkey on it and it's actually soup, and I did not make a sandwich. Sorry, I just didn't. That far off. I know what I said almost barely makes sense.
No, I follow you. But couldn't you technically say that you made a bad sandwich?
No, because I didn't make a sandwich at all. I made a soup with a different kind of protein than what I had planned on making the sandwich with. That is not still sandwich. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck. It's just not. You know, I mean, I guess technically, to be fair, you can go into an art piece intending to have it be something and have it come out of something else and have that still be art. But I don't know, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know that having even an objective definition of art is really all that useful outside of certain conversations.
Oh my God, you're absolutely right. You're right. No, you're right. Because it goes back to what you actually said. You kind of can almost agree with more earlier, where I told you what Greg's was, which is like, you know, when you see it. The only drawback to that is just the communication. And it would be very rare that this would happen, but like the communication of like, I'm looking at art, don't you see it? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You wouldn't.
I mean, if we're being honest, in my opinion, based on how often I've seen things that are supposed to be art, that I was like, I don't understand how that is. To me, my definition of art is, quote unquote, the equivalent of seeing something in a cloud.
You lost me a little bit there. What do you mean?
Sometimes only one person can see a thing, and based on how people talk about art, that's all it really takes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm sorry, but like, dude, it's every time I go to a fucking museum, or specifically an art museum, half of the shit I see, I go to read the little placard in front of it, and I'm like, this person is an asshole.
Okay, bear in mind though, I literally just had this conversation the other day. I again will state this. I'm 90% sure most artists post-hawk all that shit.
Right. That's why I think they're assholes.
Right.
Because they just basically shit, and they're like, oh, here's the cloud shape I see in my poop pile. I'm going to write 4 paragraphs about how I intended for that to happen.
Yeah,
And it's just like, no, you didn't. You just
the only thing I kind of
paint.
like understand about that is the fact, and I don't know why they do this, but like, for example, every gallery makes you do that.
Maybe, but can't you come up with 4 paragraphs about reality and not some bullshit you made up to sound all lofty and grandiose, and every single person who's going to read it knows you're full of garbage? I mean, like,
If you want to sell it.
Then I guess just actually have a worthwhile, honest story. You know, like, or here's something that would probably sell art better than a bullshit fucking 4-paragraph thing. Good art. Something that anybody actually finds value in.
Well, let me ask you: does the definition of the little placard, does that affect the quality of the art to you?
For me, yeah, it does.
So,
it
like,
does.
if you
I
saw
see something that looks like someone just randomly dipped a paintbrush into watercolors and bashed that fucking paintbrush onto the canvas until there was no more white left, I'm sorry, but that doesn't seem like you had a thought or a pattern or a plan.
No, that's what I meant. I'm saying what it says. Like, if you see something
right,
you
that's
really
what
like,
I'm getting to. Is if I see something like that, and then they give me this whole fucking thing about how it's like a statement about fucking modern, culture and blah blah blah. I'm like, you're an idiot. There's no part of this that would ever give anyone an indication you're talking about culture or anything like that. And
on the flip side, though, if
you got stoned after someone asked you to make this up for the fucking gallery, and then you said that.
Okay, on the flip side, though, if they did the same thing, same piece of art, but then you go up to it and it's like, I just was really high and like these colors. Like, that was the description. Like,
I would have way more respect for that.
Okay.
And I know that sounds maybe funny to you, but it's actually honest. It's actually a reflection of reality. And I would go, okay, well, I guess sometimes you can just be real high and like certain colors, and
could it literally
well.
make you like the art more?
Yeah, potentially. Just the honesty of the statement would be enough for me to go, I have more of an appreciation for this. Now, I'm not necessarily going to think that the artist is more or less talented or whatever because of that. But I will be like, oh, this is actually how they got to this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sure there's got to be a handful of paintings that Kyle's got that he's done in the past where he's like, I was just really drunk and did this, or something like that, and like, if I were to go to a show and I knew the backstory of a painting he just got hammered and did, and it had 4 paragraphs of bullshit about what this means about life for black people in South Africa, I'd be like, fucking bullshit, dude. I don't even think you have a clue about South Africa. I'd be surprised if you know how to spell apartheid. Like, what in the fuck are you talking about? But if he was just like, man, I was really hammered, it just kind of came to me, I'd go, cool, that's artistic inspiration right there. Like,
You in my house,
you need to have
motherfucker!
a good reason for how you came to whatever piece you
But for you to appreciate it, you need to be honest.
To have an honest reason. Yeah, I mean, it's like, be real. You know what I mean? Like, your art is already created. You don't need to create why you did it. Just tell us, But it's like, there's so many fucking, what is it called? Like,
I think it's a holdover, though. I think it's a holdover from older time, personally.
Is it impressionism? Is that the one where basically they just kind of jizz random colored paints onto a canvas and claim they had great, brilliant ideas?
Well, I mean, if you go really hardcore, I'm pretty sure that's abstract. You're talking about like Pollock?
Oh, maybe I'm talking about abstract. Let me see here. You know what? Actually, let me just refresh my head on Pollock bullshits.
I feel like you're gonna have a hernia.
Oh, okay, yeah, this fucking douche. Every one of his paintings looks like someone poorly assembled a lasagna. Like, who gives a fuck? And I'm sure this dude has miles of paper trail about all the brilliant ideas he had.
Actually, I don't know. Actually, that one I don't know about. He was kind of like...
I know Kyle hates him, and I'm gonna find out why.
He's a recluse, like, drunk. I don't know that he ever put too much thought into his paintings. Well, I'm sure he put thought into them.
Put any thought into any of them. Maybe this Moby Dick one from 1943, where there's actually what seems like a solid background color to the painting, but the rest of this stuff, it just looks like he was slinging paintbrushes at random. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I can make a Jackson Pollock in 5 minutes. If I swear to God, dude, I'm gonna go buy some paint the next time I actually have some money. a couple of paintbrushes, go in my garage for 5 minutes, and come out with a $3 trillion painting because I did it in the Pollock style. Will there be any intent? No. Can I make up 4 paragraphs of bullshit? Absolutely. You know, and so now it's art, I guess. What the fuck, dude, Jackson?
I'd like you to do that.
This is the fucking dumb dildo people keep talking about.
I will literally buy you the paint.
You buy me the paint, a canvas, and an easel. And in less than an hour of me having that shit set up, I will create a new Jackson Pollock that will be probably better than most of his.
The intent was to make money. That is also true. I want you to do it because
then he's not an artist. He's a capitalist.
that's also true. But you could be both. Like, you wouldn't have to be one or the other.
This fucking dirty pasta dish of a painting sold for $140 million fucking 17 years ago.
Yeah.
That makes me angry, dude. This is why I have issues with artists, man. Jackson Pollock, he's the guy.
Yeah. I can't say I blame you. I've never really understood it either, but I can imagine what it would take to make a painting, like a Pollock's painting. And I can tell you that eventually...
It would take a seizure with a paintbrush in your hand.
No, dude, if you're an artist who doesn't even do Pollock paintings, like myself, if I was like, I'm going to try and do one, I could do one, but there would be definitely points in that where I'm making decisions.
Oh, okay. I have an advantage that you don't, which is that I am not any sort of a visual artist, and you are. And so you are going to take things into consideration.
I think you would too.
Maybe, but we don't know that until I do it.
It wouldn't be good, maybe, but you would definitely make a decision.
Okay, well, I mean, just like now you're gonna tell me what I'm doing and insult me while I apparently am doing it. But what I'm saying here is, when I was in band, there was a time where I tried to play as shitty as the people at the end of the trumpet section, and I literally couldn't do it. I didn't know how to suck that much. And I think that as an actual artist, you'd be in that same situation where you'd start to think about, I think this kind of sucks, and then you'd make decisions. My only decision would be what random can I'm next dipping the paintbrush in before I fucking seize about at the canvas.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can think that, but...
I mean, unless you literally intentionally did it that way, but even then, that's a choice.
Well, okay, at that point, literally, you don't get to do anything that's not a choice in your life except for accidental farts. So, I mean, what's the point of bringing that up?
Only because my point is that even with the intent to just be like, watch me make a Pollock painting, right? Like, even with that, you're still you might, if I gave you all the primary colors, I still think you would pick colors that you like. You wouldn't like just throw any colors you don't like on there.
Oh no, I would throw all the colors that you gave me on there.
Oh, you'd make sure to use every one?
Yeah, that seems to be Jackson Pollock's style. This was here, so I used it.
But that's not what he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah? Is he here to ask that question?
You can look at his paintings.
I'm literally looking at all of them right now. That's what he did in all of them.
And there's color themes, dude, at the very least.
Because he didn't have certain
You have
colors
forced
in
me
stock.
to argue for Jackson Pollock, which I hate because I don't like doing it.
I did not force you to. You just didn't consider the possibility that maybe sometimes he didn't have blue or green in his fucking lab. Or lab. That's not the right word. Studio.
It could be a lab.
And frankly,
his art's very
97% of his paintings are
scientific.
red, black, and orange. So, like...
Yeah, warm tones, bro.
Black's a warm tone?
It could be a warm black or a cold black, yeah.
I didn't know you had options with the tones.
Yep.
Like, this one is literally a Rice Krispie with Hershey syrup drizzled on it. This one is...
Yeah.
Random oils from someone who doesn't know how to make food without putting too much oil in. That one is just a scraped up section of pavement. This one's a carrot that someone ran over.
Okay, so to be clear, you don't think you could like any kind of abstract art at all? I'm curious.
I am not saying I cannot like abstract art, but I am saying I cannot like the explanation behind abstract art from any artist I've ever witnessed. Which admittedly isn't a shit ton. Yeah, like it's honest. To be honest with you, his paintings themselves don't even really bother me that much. But the fact that everybody is just like creaming their jeans about this.
And 100 and what'd you say? How much? 100 and what million for the one?
140 million for a painting of dry pasta, dude. Like, what in the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
okay. There's this abstract painting right here. looks all weird, fucking trippy, cyberpunky, swirly crap from someone named it's from some organization called Saatchi Art. I'm guessing it's just a singular person. Oh no, it's a painting called Into the Deep by Thierry Vubman. It's $430. I don't have the money for it, but if I had the money for it, I do think it's cool. I like the colors.
It's worth $430.
I wouldn't say that, but you know, if I had that kind of money to just blow, I would maybe buy it. Especially since it's just a print, but you know, it's like, yeah.
Oh,
dude,
that's $430 for a print.
Yeah. Yep. And that was also a print of a non-Jackson Pollock thing. It was just a painting I saw that was abstract and whatever. But yeah, dude, like his shit, man. Like I can't see why anybody would give a fuck. I mean, it's like it's not necessarily bad. Anything visually, I guess, could be art when you're painting it, but I don't know, dude. When it comes to artists like Pollock, man, I'm just like, dude, why does everybody give him so much credit? This is just like any person dumping their thoughts in the form of slinging paint randomly. Like there's a few where it looks like he actually touched the canvas with the paintbrush intentionally. But most of them, it just looks like he was at least 10 feet away, just slinging that shit around like he was practicing.
Generally.
Or something,
There's a good movie about him actually that Ed Harris plays him. And I probably would.
Why would he do that to himself?
I was gonna say I've never actually liked that. I don't think I would have watched it if it was anyone else. I really like Ed Harris, so
yeah, me too.
Yeah, but he was just a drunken fuck, man. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean Picasso was also a drunk douchebag, and he also is a guy who can only do paintings that look like a second grader made them.
Yeah, I was never a fan of Picasso either, but
I don't really get it, dude. Like we get shit like fucking
the tortured male. Actually, Glitch is perfect. What she says, the tortured male artist is fetishized. I think that's
absolutely
so true. That is.
Oh
so
my god!
true.
Like the fact that they're glorified like they are is a little ridiculous. I'm sorry, we shouldn't all be glorifying Van Gogh for cutting his ear off to give it to a chick he loved. We should be going, oh, Van Gogh was an incel artist. The end. You know, like what the fuck? Like the weird shit that we apparently considered romantic back in the day that is now considered mental illness or potentially something you would get a restraining order for is pretty insane to me. Oh, really? A woman didn't want to fuck you after you gave her your ear that you severed yourself? What a surprise, dude. I don't know how that turned out that way. You know, like...
then again, me personally, I always distrust the validity of all those wonky ass stories. Like,
he painted himself without an ear.
That doesn't mean.
I guess it doesn't really mean anything. But do we have evidence Van Gogh cut his stupid ass ear off? Oh, they probably won't care about the stupid ass part. Oh, yeah.
What's the evidence?
Well, I'm looking
is it the
into
woman?
now. Yeah, the funny thing is, it turns out this dumb idiot cut his ear off, and from the sounds of it, left a note under his doctor's door that was like, "Hey, just so you know, I cut off my ear."
Does it say the reason?
Hold on. It says, until recently, historians had concluded that Van Gogh only cut off the lobe. One eyewitness report seemed unequivocal. French artist Paul Signac, who visited Van Gogh in the hospital shortly after the incident. Okay, well, people were visiting him in the hospital afterwards, probably had written in a letter that Van Gogh cut off the lobe and not the whole ear. But in self-portraits, Van Gogh painted himself with his head covered in wrappings, and in his letters, he describes himself spending weeks in the hospital recovering from fever and infection. Okay, do we get a point where it actually says doctor's drawing? Oh, okay, we have a doctor's drawing that shows a clear incision across the base of the ear. He had cut the whole thing off, leaving only a sliver of lobe.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Do they have a... but the reason, though, that I'm curious. Did we have any evidence for that?
Yeah, no, it turns out it was the reason everybody thought, where he just liked a lady and thought if he cut his fucking ear off, she would want to date him. Like, what? Come on, dude. Like, I know people try to be like, oh, it was a different time, but you know what? Based on the cranial capacity of human beings, it's never been a different time. It's just been different technology. which means that people back then had the same sort of thought processes we do now with less iPhones. And
Hey, yeah, who knows? Maybe back in the day, dude, it was super awesome to be a chick and get someone giving you an ear.
Oh, which is why he's the only dude in the whole of the fucking Dutch history or whatever he's from, who ever did that. You know, like, if he had eaten his government, I'd go, okay, yeah, maybe that's like a thing they did, you know, but...
Yeah. Damn.
That's so silly, dude. What a silly little fucking Netherlands bitch. You know, it's things like Van Gogh, and I'm just gonna call Pollock Dutch to say this as well, but man, dude, being of Dutch ancestry is such a disappointment.
Because of them.
Those two guys specifically. Oh, well, then also that time in like 1576 or whatever that the Dutch actually did literally eat their prime minister and his brother. But I mean, you know, oh, he's Scotch-Irish. Well, you know what? I'm gonna call him Jackson Pollocksky.
Oh, okay.
And now he's that's I'm sorry, that's Eastern European. Jackson Pollock with a different spelling. I don't fucking know, dude. He's Dutch to me.
All right, Triceratops. I'm gonna bounce out. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, dude.
All right, man. I'll be there after my doctor's appointment.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
Well, that was fun, guys. That was a hoot. It was a hoot. See, this is what I'm saying. We gotta hold ourselves some art panels and debate this shit. Well, if Triceratops on is just, you know, a colorful add to the panel, you know, get Kyle in here, do the whole thing. Be looking out my window all day tomorrow. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Are you think you're gonna are you gonna try and tear everything apart tomorrow, or you think you'll wait till like Saturday? Or wait, I lost track of this week so bad. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? So yeah. And my friend lets me borrow. Yeah, like I said, just check those boxes first, man. Sometimes I feel like they do send. I swear they send like a little thing of thermal paste, so it might work. And if you're not sick, yeah, I hope you're not sick, man. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. If you haven't already, go join the Discord. Like and subscribe on all the channels, okay? If you are an artist and you want to share your work and help me build a community of artists over on my Discord, please do it. There are links everywhere. Go do it. Otherwise, I'll catch up with you all later. Have a wonderful evening. And yeah, peace out, guys.